we were riding in a cab coming from someone.
MCA Records. MCA Records.
Was it MCA?
No,
okay.
or Hans or
And,
something. You have to get a bunch of free CDs. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, we were. I think we were heading down to Generation Records or something.
Yeah.
But we were pretty far. Yeah, we don't need to go into details about that.
Word.
But yeah, we were uptown by Central Park or somewhere by there, and I remember we were passing through. I forget the name of the little roundabout or square. It's 59th Street and Broadway.
Yeah, Columbus Circle, maybe.
Yeah, Columbus, exactly.
Okay.
Columbus Circle. So we're going around the roundabout, and we see Moon sitting on the curb, and just seemed totally out of place because we didn't know what she was doing up there or whatnot, and but clearly, you guys had a lot of history and were hanging out, and, and friends and stuff, and just I don't know. To me, and I think everyone else in the whole scene, it was really obvious that you guys were really into each other.
Yeah.
But I think to you guys, maybe it wasn't so obvious. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or maybe no one was wanting to push it, or But Moon was about to get married to another guy.
Yeah.
I forget that guy's name.
Mike Rankwood. Mike Rankwood is a pro snowboarder. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I want to say she was getting ready to fly out, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact details, but we were just driving past, and you were like, "Oh, there's Moon," and I was like, "Dude, you go get out of the car, dude. You got to go get her." And you were like, "Really?" We were stuck at a red light. I was like, "Dude," you guys love each other. Like, who are we kidding? It's so obvious. Like, go get your lady, dude. What are you doing?
Wow.
And you did. You jumped out of the car, and you went over there, and you guys hugged each other, kissed, and I witnessed that via the rear view of the cab, and then you guys lived happily ever after.
That's amazing, man.
Pretty awesome, yeah.
It's just those moments, those like small little moments in life, I guess, that like I could have lost that connect right there. I could have just not ever said something, or it was too late, or you know what I mean?
I mean, I'm sure you guys would have ran into each other again, but I'm pretty sure she was going to fly out to go meet dude
Seattle.
To get married.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's fucking crazy. And it's crazy. It was just so randomly. We saw her in a cab in Manhattan, one of the biggest cities in the world, and we see her like, fuck, man. I
don't. Sometimes I don't like the idea of destiny because it makes you feel like you're out of control. But then you have a moment like that will throw that all out the window and make you a believer in destiny.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for encouraging me that day to go fucking go to my lady and fucking let her know that I love her and that, you know what I mean? That's amazing. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm really glad that like it didn't turn into some volatile relationship, because then I would have felt really bad and responsible.
No, it fucking worked out perfectly, man. Fucking, it's amazing. Yeah. Life is. I'm very lucky. So that's awesome. We had that moment together with you in the cab, and we were coming from and seeing her. That's a moment in time that could have changed everything if I didn't, you know.
Well, now I know why I was there, so I could remind you all these years later.
Yeah. No, totally, man.
So,
fuck, man. That story really, really choked me up the other day, man. It really did. I just, because we were confused.
It's a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's like, it literally, like, that was like, it was now or that never. And
yeah.
You know,
should have get off the pot. Yeah.
You made it happen, dude. Yeah.
Fuck, man. Well, Eric Rice, I appreciate you. I appreciate I appreciate my life. I'm happy you're doing great. You have your daughter. You're fucking tattooing. Every time I see you, it's fucking awesome. And even though we don't live near each other, we're still connected, and we have a lot of history together. And I appreciate you being part of my life. You know.
Me too, man.
And hopefully, I'll see you sooner than later.
Yeah, hopefully, get out here, man.
I will, brother. And
Come on out. Come on out to Southern Star Tattoo. Come get tatted up.
Yeah, go see him. Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time today too.
Always, brother.
All right, now I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you in the real world when I get off this recording.
All right, dog.
Love you, brother. Peace.
All right, love you, brother.
Bye.
The biggest day of my life, she said.
Welcome to the One Life, One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. It's 10 p.m. in my house in my kitchen. I have a very special guest who finally been on the podcast. He's been super busy. It's not like we live with each other since he was born. Ladies and gentlemen, on the podcast tonight, we have Mr. Maximus Morse.
What is up, everyone?
And because last week's episode was the biggest, most amazing, insane responses and questions, welcome back to the podcast for a part 2, Miss Moon Morse.
Woo!
And then we have our friend Julie here. She's a mediator, mind reader, and all the other things, and she's going to make sure this thing stays tame. So first question we have is, since I grew up with 2 brothers in my family, and Mama, you were raised just you and no brothers or sisters, and Max is being raised as a single child.
That's right.
Do you feel like you're missing out having no siblings, Max?
No, I do not, because, well, sometimes I get lonely, and I'm like, you know what, sometimes my friends can't hang out, and it's like, you want to do something, or like, make fun of someone, or just be like have a younger brother, or maybe an older brother, like, to like get along with or mess around with, you know?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, you know what?
To be a big brother,
then I have to share a room and share the stuff I get from like my family, and I have to split the money that I get. And just, I just have to do all like half and half. I'm like, you know what? I don't need anyone else, so I don't really care that much.
Can I interject here?
Yeah.
What?
There's so many reasons why being an only child for you specifically, like, I would love to have another child, a girl.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's not
and
guaranteed.
have a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
But
On tour.
we wouldn't be able to take you all over the place like we do. We put you in our pocket. We do whatever. You on the airplane. If we had 2, it would just be harder.
I agree.
So that, sharing, I don't think you'd be good at it. And we used to threaten you. I'd say when you were little, like, we're going to go do it, and we're going to have another baby. And at first you were like, oh my God. And then you're like, oh, what?
Yeah.
You didn't want.
Even
the idea of it, you didn't want.
Even after I got the vasectomy, I came home with the jar and it had the little tubes in there, and I remember giving them to you and showing to him and saying, here you go.
But he was too little to get
I know we're
it.
not going to have kids now, and it was your choice. It wasn't his choice, but
I know. Not
we always asked you, though, Max.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, you're like,
we were joking.
You joked really like seriously, and I really got sort of scared and
We
sort
were
of
really
angry.
serious about it.
Yeah, we did a really
I
good
was
prank.
really sort of angry. I was like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. Like, I
The
just
way
wanna
you acted, I thought that you were trying out for All My Children or General Hospital, because you literally threw yourself on the bed, like devastation, like someone killed my best friend and my dog,
Because then you
and
guys paid
threw
more
acid
attention.
in my face. You were like, what? Oh my God.
Yeah, because then you pay more attention to them.
Well, actually, because he lived most of his life with us, and all of a sudden he's got to share everything. I get that.
And if I were going to have another baby, I'd like to have one right away so that you could be like too easy.
Yeah.
Not like, it'd be like you being another only child all over again.
Yeah.
And even Julie's great friends with all her sisters. But I know so many friends that fist fought with their brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And like, well, that would suck.
Yeah. This question's from you, Moon. It doesn't really make sense for all the times I go on tour. Most of the summer in Europe, Max goes with me every summer. Max travels with me. I base all my tours around Max's last day of school, and then we go to Europe for a couple weeks. But the question was to Moon, like, when you have to stay home by yourself and parent Max, how difficult is that being home while I'm traveling? Doesn't happen that much, but
when Max was born, you went on tour 10 days later for 2 months at a time.
Yeah, with Hazen
6
Street.
weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Home for 3 days. But I think when I was doing it, it was just robot mode, and I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And when you'd walk in the door, I'd literally hand him to you like a
Your
basket,
turn.
like, here you go.
Yeah.
But that was the best time to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
Because he only needed me to feed him.
Yeah.
Didn't, like, it just...
It was all about the boob. And Max, you didn't really know the time frame back then. I could be gone for 2 months. You thought it was 2 weeks.
And we also
wouldn't
used
remember
to trick him.
Any of that, right, Max? No.
Yeah, I didn't really. I mean, I can't say anything now because I don't remember.
You don't even remember going to Japan with us twice either when you were single digits.
Once, because I remember seeing distinctly in my head the big 10-foot spider crabs.
Oh yeah, in Osaka, Japan at the
And that's it.
That's awesome, at the aquarium. That's a great memory.
But this is important. In the beginning, like I said, bubble, whatever. Then when we moved here, you would go on tour. We'd put your stuff. We'd put like your suitcases by the door.
Yeah.
And like hide it. And then you would just go.
Yeah.
And then we'd do daycare or whatever.
Yeah.
Back and forth. And it was almost like, I don't know if it's true or not, but I made it like he didn't know time perception.
The time frame, yeah.
And so it could have been like 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden it was like, Daddy's home.
Yeah, it went by pretty, yeah.
And then even older, I would film you and put him on the TV.
Yeah.
And you would be like, hi, Max, it's Daddy.
So that's the next question. You have any helpful tips? I think that's one of the tips, making videos. Because this lady's husband is a musician, so he travels a lot.
Now, I mean,
She
you
wants
can
tips.
FaceTime and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
But like, before, I would hook it up to the TV, and you'd be on the TV, and I'd be like, look, Daddy's on the TV.
Yeah.
And I don't think he knew, like, oh, you're on TV. It was like you were in our living room.
Yeah.
Hanging out. And you'd be like, ball, 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 ball.
I would say the only words you knew how to say.
Yeah.
This is a question from Uncle Doyle, Misfits. He wants to know who your favorite monster is. I think the answer's supposed to be him. But
I don't know what kind of monster he means, but if he means like
creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh, stuff like that.
Maybe Uncle Monster, because that's him for sure. But
I don't think I have any other Uncle Monsters.
No. What's the best thing, Max, your dad has done for you while raising you, and what advice can you give other dads that you learned from your own dad, Max?
Can you repeat the question?
What are some of the best things your dad has done for you while raising you, and what are some advice you can give other dads to learn from yours?
Other advice?
To other dads on how to raise you, and something that you learned from me or I raised you, something I did for you while raising you.
Always being supportive of everything that it is you want to do, like just music wise, the modeling thing. Like I know a lot of parents who like would be open to that, but I don't know a lot of people who would do it.
Yeah.
And
skateboarding.
Coming from a home that you should feel comfortable with doing it.
Yeah.
And being comfortable with yourself for doing it comes from the parents who teach you how to be comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
So like something like that. Like just try to teach them, like, no matter what, just make sure they're comfortable with being themselves and who they are and being supportive. That's the main one. It's pretty simple and straight up.
What's it like being on tour with your dad, and the best tour stories?
What
happens on tour stays on tour. Remember those rules we talked. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
You can't answer his question.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead, go.
Oh, that's true. There's a lot of stories that, I don't know, should not be repeated. Crazy uncles. But
what's it like being on tour?
It's a good experience since now I'm in a band. It's like it shows you what you want and what you don't want in a band. It's like what a band really is
behind the scenes.
Like, it's not really all like glamour and fun, and it's not all like sleeping in nice hotels. Sometimes you gotta sleep in just terrible places. Sometimes you gotta not shower.
Yeah.
Very little food.
Yeah.
But it's like that. It shows really what it is.
What inspires you, Max?
Inspires me how?
Just in life in general. It's one of the questions.
If you talk about like overall, what I want to do with my life, like looking forward, that doesn't really inspire me as much as looking at the overall outcome of what it could happen. Not like I'm gonna do this, I want to do this. It's more like I want to do this because this is what happens. Not like money, but like this is what could happen if you actually try.
I like that. What's it like growing up around the biggest names in underground music? Like your uncles, all musicians and stuff. Do you feel anything about that? Or
you guys always say I probably don't understand how great it is until like later on in life, because it's just so normal to me. It's like not like to name drop, but it's like I know Doyle, right?
So can I interject now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We took Max to see the Misfits when it was 3 bands.
Yeah.
Was Misfits.
It was Sam Hain, it was the Misfits, and Danzig.
Yes. It was at Universal.
Thanks, Doyle. It was awesome. Yeah.
Max was in kindergarten. And there was a chunk of time where we hadn't seen Doyle.
Yeah.
And when we did, he was in regular outfit.
Yeah.
And he's just like hanging out with Doyle.
Yeah.
Normal. So go to the show. He's on the stage. And Doyle comes stomping out in his outfit.
Yeah.
And Max's eyes almost popped out of his head. And he goes, oh my God. And his muscles. And you were like, oh my God, you wanted to have muscles at the time. And we're like, that's our friend. That's Doyle. And you looked at me dead in the face and go, but does he know you? I was like,
I was so confused.
it's our
So-
friend. That's Doyle.
Saw him before
and
makeup
he
and
was
stuff. Yeah.
so confused.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. And
Because it
then
was like an actual monster. I was like, whoa, you know him?
something happened, and Doyle sent him a little doll of himself.
Yeah. We still have it.
So
yeah.
we said
Action
to
figure.
Max, I made him send him a thank you card.
Yeah.
Max didn't know this, but he sends the thank you card, and 2 days later, a refrigerator-sized box shows up to the house. Max thinks because he sent the thank you card, this is what happened, but mind you, that was already, on
the way. Yeah.
But it was a guitar.
A bass. Yeah.
It was a guitar.
It was
Oh,
a
okay.
guitar.
Okay.
It was a
And
sick
it
guitar.
was giant, and
It's
Max
in his
was
closet
like,
right
"Oh
now."
my gosh!" I said, "See, send thank you cards."
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, really, like, cool looking spiky guitar. It was
Yeah. They make their own stuff
was
there.
his.
It's homemade.
It
Did
was
they
his,
make
like,
that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
If you could drum for any band, Max, what would it be?
That's a hard question because I like playing lots of kinds of different types of music.
Yeah.
But one band to drum for,
Do they have to be dead or alive?
I don't
Like,
know.
are
It
they a
didn't say.
current
It didn't. It
band?
didn't specify. Yeah.
I would say Blink 182.
Wow.
Because there's lots of different types of.
Styles
I
they
don't
play.
know. It's either that or the Chromags.
Wow.
Because I
It's
see
a very
the way,
diverse spectrum.
Because I see the way Mackie plays. He's got
Amazing.
a jazzy vibe. It's like
Yeah.
he's so fluent in every single type of way he plays.
Yeah.
But then you see Travis Barker. It's like
It's two different styles,
it's
man.
two different styles, two different types of people. But it's
Yeah.
like if you think about the way they both play, it's so different from each other. But the music they play is so diverse,
Yeah.
especially the Chromags.
Yeah.
Like the way if you actually see him play live, it's like it's jazzy. He's on his feet. He's going fast. He's going slow. He's going
Yeah.
like nice. Because I know he used to play jazz.
It's in the pocket too. Yeah.
It's crazy. But I like Blink-182's music too. It's like fun and like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard to choose between those two though.
That's a good two. One of the questions I know the answer to this one too, Max. Do you like Dr Pepper or root beer?
Root beer.
All the way. This kid drinks
That's a
so
good
much root
question.
beer.
Whoever
Yeah.
asked that.
Hey Max, I'm raising my daughter a plant-based diet. I have no worries about her health, but I'm wondering how she would feel about growing up. Can you please share experience as a kid growing up as a non-meat eating kid, and your attitude towards this diet, the impact it might have on you and your relationship with other kids at school, dealing with lunches, birthdays, and parties, etc. Just being out there in the
Can
world,
you repeat
basically.
that? No, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like,
What's it like being a
repeat it.
vegetarian, going to birthday parties, eating lunches at school, at parties, hanging out with other kids who aren't vegetarian? How has this diet impacted your life? Health worries? Please share experiences as a kid.
All
Not
right,
eating meat.
especially
can I say something?
Yeah.
It's kind of part question. Maybe just wrap it up into one. Have kids been dicks and done? Ooh.
Yeah, of course I have, but it's like
And that ooh was me waving a
fake piece of
fake
meat.
meat in
That's
my
definitely
hand
happened.
towards his face.
no, but
Yeah.
it's like especially like if your kid's young now, who knows what it'll be like in like 10 years, but
World's
like
changing fast.
now it's like no one really cares. I mean, like, wow, you're vegetarian, cool. Like, I know, like, a bunch of other vegetarians at my school.
Yeah.
But, like, growing up vegetarian, especially at the school I went to, we had an open garden, and they made me specific vegetarian food and stuff like that. It's not bad.
Okay. Max, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Where do I see myself?
In 10 years. You're 26.
For what
Whoa.
I want to... Wow, that's scary, actually. What I want to see myself doing is still playing music in the band that I'm in now.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah.
And quote me on this, but that's probably where I'm going to be.
Playing music, being a drummer.
Yeah, hopefully it's still in Rend.
Um,
I actually feel that.
You have an amazing relationship with your dad. That's me. Hi. But who else
Right.
would you pick as your father if you had another choice to pick a dad? That's so weird.
That's a good... No, I mean, love you, Hub. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Someone
That's a real weird
That's
question.
a really weird question, and I don't know. But someone I'm obviously close to now with... it's scary to hear my voice in my headphones. It
Yeah.
I was
sounds
just
so
mocking you. Yo,
deep. Yo,
good question.
it's maybe someone that's already close with me and knows who I am, like Matt Skiba
Yeah.
or your brother Todd,
Yeah.
'cause he understands me. and shit.
Yeah. Awesome. I like that. And what's a place you like to travel to you haven't been to yet? And what kind of we know the answer to this one. What kind of career are you interested in? We know it's music, but
Those are two separate questions.
You don't know.
he just said he wants to be playing music.
No. Okay. first question, where do I want to go that I've never been? 100%
Yeah.
Africa.
Okay, yeah, Mama does too.
100%.
Yeah.
That also the Caribbean.
Nice.
Bad. Second question, what I want to do is I've always wanted to do something with science, but that's just not going to happen.
Big Bang Theory represent.
But I've always wanted to do something with science, like anything. I really love physics,
Awesome.
and I really love biology.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. It's realistic. But I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to.
I didn't even take physics in college.
Yeah.
And my biology teacher said that I egged her house and
Which you
blamed
did.
me
Which you did.
with sitting next to Bob Durkheim, and I was
Don't know.
writing
Who
bubbles.
the hell is this?
I was writing bubbles above the fish, and she goes, "Those are eggs. You egged my house."
Oh
I was
my
making
God.
bubbles.
But did you egg her house?
No, that was a different teacher.
Oh my
You're
God.
terrible.
Who else besides your dad has inspired you to pursue music?
Did you interject that?
Yeah, sure. You went
You
on
made
you went
that
on a
up.
tangent. It says it right there.
Yeah.
Wait, what's
Who's
the
the
question?
greatest person in the world besides your mother?
No, who else inspires you to play music besides your dad? Other influences.
It's gonna sound really weird, but not a lot of people. I mean, I could say the usual, Mackie. I mean, of course, he's an incredible drummer.
Yeah.
But no one really inspires me to do music except for me, because I'm the only one who has the... No, listen, this is my explanation. My mom's laughing.
I respect.
This is the thing. I'm not saying I'm an incredible drummer at all.
Yeah.
But I look up to Mackie. I have his picture
Yeah.
on my wall and shit. But I'm the only one who can pursue the music
And
I
control
play
your
because
destiny with it, too.
I'm the only person that's playing my music, because that's me.
Yeah.
And when I look to see, like, who inspires me... Like, obviously, other drummers and people I listen to, all types of drummers, no matter if it's good music or not. I'm not a big fan of listening to jazz, but, like, obviously, you got to know the hits and stuff like that. So that always inspires me. But, like, inspiration comes from who you are and if you actually want to do it. So that's, yeah. That's
Do you have any plans on doing a YouTube page? Somebody's asking.
Oh, I have. It's just,
Yes. Shout it out.
What's your YouTube page since you were like 3 years old? What
Remember
is it?
he had the YouTube page?
Yeah.
No, that was a different one. Now it's, I don't usually post videos on it at all, but if I actually got back into it over the summer, capital MAXAMIZATION, Maximization with an A.
Maximization with an A. Okay.
Not a long time, like a couple years ago, I was like, I don't know, I don't know, but I have some funny videos on there. But
They're funny. They go into him and an old friend of his.
Yeah.
They would go into like a store and hide behind toilet paper tents and poke
scare
out.
Make little hideouts. Yeah.
And
was cute.
some people got mad.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to
kicked
get
out.
beat up sometimes.
Or arrested. Yeah.
Super funny.
Yeah, Maximization with an
And
A.
super squeaky voice, which was awesome. Like,
That was my old account.
hi, this
That was
is
your
Maximus.
voice too.
Let's get it started.
What up, guys? It's Maximus the Maniac here.
It's
Ma-
so awesome.
Max, what is your favorite band since you've been little?
Since I've been
A band you always stuck with, you always part of your,
Hazen Street.
Wow, thank you.
Because I like playing the songs too, and
Yeah.
I remember when you were on tour, right when Hazen Street started going on tour, and I was pulling into the Whole Foods parking lot.
It's getting
And-
real.
What song was it? Family?
One of those songs, yeah.
Max
Friends and Family,
would
yeah.
bawl. He would cry so
Wow.
hard. I don't know if I ever told you that, but
That's
he would
weird.
cry. I don't know, but you loved Hazen Street, and it was family song.
Fr-
It was so
Friends and
sad.
Family, yeah.
I don't know if that's the song, but it was just something that like
It's
he
a bit-
always wanted to hear it,
Yeah.
but he would always cry.
This is a perfect segue to that, a song that makes you cry. Max, what's your favorite Coldplay song?
oh god,
None.
I would say it's the song I know you're thinking of right now, and you
Mhm.
look at me in the eye,
Yeah.
but it's not. I don't know. It's so sad. I don't like it sometimes because it's so emotional, and whenever I hear it, I just think of you crying, because you're an emotional person, which is fine.
So what song is it?
Charlie Brown.
That's our song,
but
Charlie
I-
Brown.
But like also
I knew
like
it.
like Fix You is a good song.
Great song.
Yellow.
Yeah, they're amazing live,
They
man.
all incredible live.
What's the most embarrassing thing your dad or mom does?
I already know it. You know what I'm gonna say, Mama?
Oh,
you
Daniel was there.
Yeah, okay. My friend Daniel was there. Daniel, if you're listening to this right now, I know my friend Daniel loved this. He was laughing so hard.
I only
a couple weeks
embarrassed
ago.
you recently. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
Only recently did I feel like
In his teens.
It was so fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom drops me and my friend Daniel off at the Grove. And if you guys know what the Grove is, when you walk through, there's a little section where cars
outside mall.
Yeah, so you can come through, and they you stop, and then people cross, and then cars can come through. She dropped me off, and me and my friend Daniel were walking, and we're about to cross there, and all of a sudden they stop, and the cars come through, and my mom had my dog with her, and she also had some alien-looking face mask on. She didn't take off.
I just put a silver mask on.
Yes.
And then you said, "Can you drive me to the Grove?" And I didn't think about it. I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
I just left, and I thought, "Oh my gosh!"
And she was wearing her pajamas, and we all stopped, and there was like a bunch of people. It was like on Saturday, and there was a bunch of people there. And she drives through. She's like the only car. She goes super slow, rolls down the windows, and says, "That's my kid, Max.
I kept
that's
honking.
my kid." She kept honking, and she rolled down the windows. Stella was barking. She was like, "That's my kid. That's my kid. That's my kid." And my friend Daniel was laughing his ass off, and I was just standing there like, "Oh."
I saw you shrink in size.
I was so dead. I was like, "Come on, what are you doing this
and
for?"
I was waving, "Hi, Max. That's my boy."
It was so bad. It was so bad.
With a big
There's also
silver
one you
shiny
might.
face.
There's also one you might not remember. These are the two embarrassing stories. One is we had a PT Cruiser. Period. Secondly, Moon let Max and his friends fucking paint the PT Cruiser
wasn't
while I was on
embarrassing.
tour, and they did all.
What's embarrassing about
It was,
that?
that's
well,
not
because not embarrassing. We drove to school the PT Cruiser, bad enough. But then you let Max draw SpongeBob SquarePants
It was a
all
whole
over the
thing.
car, and then the paint was removable paint.
I didn't know acrylic doesn't come off, but
Tell
let
the
me
story,
tell
babe. Tell the story.
When I was little, my mom always used to let me paint on the car.
Nice.
She always had really junker clunkers, and she would let me paint with watercolor.
Okay.
Then it would rain, and it goes away.
Yeah.
So one day it was kind of shitty out, and I said to Max, "Do you want to paint the car?"
We were gonna get rid of the car anyways. I
and
think at the time.
his whole face lightens up,
Yeah.
super excited. I give him a bunch of paint. He goes outside, and he does this amazing SpongeBob theme. SpongeBob, he did Patrick Star.
On the car. Yeah, I remember
it was
that.
both the doors and
Yeah.
then a little bit of the front panel and a little bit of the back.
Yeah.
So it was kindergarten, first year of school. Case was having a birthday party, SpongeBob theme.
Yeah, I remember that.
We pull up to the house, and Kimberly Cantor rips my arm off, and she goes, "Get over here. What did you do?" And I said, "What?" And she goes, "Every kid here is going to want to paint
The
their
car now because of you.
And I go,
You set the standard. Set the bar.
It's just on the PT Cruiser. It's not on the Jag."
Exactly.
And she looked at me and she said, "You have a Jaguar?" She missed the point.
Yeah. So how long did you keep the car painted for?
But you were on tour.
Yes.
So then it's time to pick you up.
Yes, at the airport.
And it was Long Beach.
Okay.
So that's a different. It's much smaller airport.
Yeah.
So it was on the passenger side.
Yep.
And where you pick up your bags is over there.
Yep.
And we're pulling up, and I see you on the phone. You go, "What'd you do?" I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
And you kept saying, "What's on the car? What's on the car?" I said, "Oh, nothing." And then since I always drive, you're sitting in the passenger seat with a whole SpongeBob theme.
On the side of my car.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then you're like, "I got to get rid of this." And it wouldn't come off.
What did we do? I forgot we had to get some crazy paint remover stuff.
It took a long
Yeah.
time, but that was so awesome.
That's a great.
That's
St- Max, what are your plans for after graduation? People asking.
Am I graduating?
What's your plans for that?
Um,
I'm gonna keep 100. Everybody listening. We just. I was really shitty in school in 9th and 10th grade. Those are my worst years in school. Then I fell in love. Then I lost my virginity. Then everything changed for me. Then it was a school jester.
Did
then
you
it was
not lose your virginity to me?
Then I was a prom king.
That's
just
what I thought.
Just listen up. And then my 11th and 12th grade was really awesome for me. And we've been telling Max, because my mom didn't really pay attention to my grades. I know your mom was different, Moon. But Max, we're just telling Max, just get C's, just graduate, like just get out of there. We just want you to get out. You only have a couple years left. These are the easiest years of your life. These 4 years, no responsibilities. Go to school and come home, hang with your friends, and just pass. So Max is dealing with that kind of shit right now. He's trying to focus and get out of the school.
Trying to pass.
So you are going to graduate, but your ultimate goal is music. We already got to that point, obviously.
Whoa. My Nana always said, like, music is a good thing to do, but you should always have a backup plan.
My mom said the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's like she also mentioned trade schools and stuff, which I think is really cool. And not everyone's doing trade schools.
Yeah,
I don't know. Since I can't get into a really great college, trade schools are also really cool. I always wanted to do cooking because I used to be really good at cooking, making good omelets and pancakes, and like just really good at that. But I don't know, something on the side, like everyone does something on the side in H2O.
Okay, and so Max.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I never thought of that.
How was it working on Kat Von D on Divine's collection? Would you repeat that? And also, you're a great role model.
Thank you. And when we did the Kat Von D, how long ago was that? Like a year ago? That was in October.
2 years
year
ago.
and a half.
2 years ago.
Yeah, that was when I was.
That was a
in eighth
long
grade.
day, man. You were very
That was
brave.
a 6-hour day. I took out of school.
No, 6 hour putting the makeup on.
Yeah, it was 6 hours putting the
Yeah, it was a
makeup
longer
on.
day than that.
And I didn't go to school, and I remember 6 hours makeup, triple eyelashes on my eyes, couldn't barely open my eyes.
But thank God it was Leah who did your makeup because
Yeah.
you
Shout out
already
to
knew
Leah.
her
Yeah.
and you were comfortable with her.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah.
But I go there, and I was a little skeptical at first. I was a little scared, not because like I was gonna drag. I was just a little bit scared because it was my first time ever doing something like
Anything,
that. Yeah. And it was also just like sort of like whoa, like I'm a 15-year-old boy who's gonna drag queen and like just a little nervous. So I get there, everyone was super super nice, comforting, and supportive. I see Kat Von D. She's like, "Hey Max, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm so excited to do this." So it was awesome. 6 hours for like a 20-minute shoot. Great shoot though. It came out perfectly. I was super excited for that. That
Did
was really
you
fun.
anticipate people giving you grief for that?
I anticipated and I built it. I was like, I'm ready for it. I got some hate, but not a lot
It
of
came,
haters.
yeah, it came. A
It
lot
came
of
from
love
people-
too.
Not a lot of hate at all.
It was interesting to see Max that transformation of Max with the makeup and then start getting like feeling himself and had it on. He started like he was oh you were into it. It wasn't like you were like
Leah
this
said
is
when
weird,
they-
take it off.
when
You
they
weren't like
put
that.
The wig on, you literally like changed.
Yeah.
It was really weird how people thought that was like me coming out of the closet.
I know.
It's like,
People thought
First
that.
of all,
Girls were
I'm
hitting
not
on
gay,
you.
and second of all, like I don't really care if you think that, but it's like it was funny because people text me. It's like, oh my god, congratulations. I'm like,
I know it was a
No,
weird. It was a
I'm
weird
not-
response.
yeah,
right?
it was really weird. It was like, I don't know how to take that. Thanks. I don't know, but I'm not coming out. So.
Girls were saying, "Too bad you're gay." Otherwise,
Yeah,
and
they're
then
like,
guys,
too bad you're gay. You're so hot. I'm like,
you
what?
got both. A mixed.
That
mixed
doesn't make
feelings.
sense.
Do people treat you different when they find out who your dad is?
Not a lot of people know who you are because you're okay. Well, like not that. Like okay, I don't like giving my friends or like new people I know your Instagram.
Yeah.
Because obviously they see it and I'm like, oh, here we go. They're gonna treat me differently. But not really. If I say H2O, they're like, what's that? I'm like, it's big in like punk rock.
Thank God for
culture.
underground music, man. No one
Like,
knows shit.
yeah, it's
awesome.
underground. It's like big in the underground though. Like if you feel
Yeah.
like a punk rock, you say H2O, like, oh yeah, I know what H2O is.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, actually in 4th grade, my science teacher's boyfriend was a fan of you guys,
It's awesome.
and my history teacher now knows who you guys are. He's a fan, but he knows all that genre of music. But like, I get uncomfortable sometimes, like if people find it, like, oh my god, this is your dad, and it's like, yeah.
Is it because some of people at school have said stuff? Is it because they just see how many followers he has, not because they know who he is, right?
Yeah, they see how many followers he has, and like, oh, you're famous or something. I'm like, he does stuff with his life. I mean, I'm just his son. I'm just his
I
son,
like
bro.
that.
Oh, Max, is a question. I mean, it's a good question because Moon doesn't do any kind of music, nor can she
She
sing.
cannot sing at all.
Would you like me
I
to
can't play
try
any
a test
instruments.
singer?
No.
Come on.
But how'd you pick up the drums? We know where it started, but tell people what got you into drums. Your first drum kit, all that stuff.
3 years old. Everyone's always like, that's so young. I was like, yeah, but it's like, I got my first drum set. I was like 3.5, 4. I remember Chad? No, Skiba. Wait, Skiba? Okay, Skiba got it for me. Matt Skiba, and Chad played it, and he broke the cymbal. I remember like the
The
first
first day.
I was so sad. I was like,
I remember that
what?
shit.
I
He
remember
broke
you
Yeah.
trying to be so calm about it, and you were like, because he was so oversized on
He
that
was so
drum set.
excited
You were
too.
like, ah.
But yeah, I remember that. But I think I started playing when I was super little, and I had a pair of drumsticks, I think, and I just would bang on everything
Yeah.
I saw. And then one day I got one. I was like, oh, this is cool. I don't remember exactly. It was,
It was your second birthday party.
15 years ago.
We set it up in the bedroom.
14.
I remember that.
But like I remember, I do remember when I see photos and stuff. And then I got another one. So I've had 4, but I do know that I've always loved banging on stuff.
Did you
Yeah.
know
I got
that
one.
in my stomach,
Come on.
I would feel this all day
She's
long.
Like going like
For real,
Ready?
he was
Tick,
moshing in there.
Tick, tick.
It's true.
And I used to think you were doing this, like, shout at
She's
the devil, like your arm up in
she's
the
raising
air.
her arm.
But it was
Shout the devil.
actually you playing drums in my belly.
Sure.
And there was an instance when the doctor misdiagnosed you with something.
Yeah.
Actually,
Oh,
3
hemophilia.
times.
Hemophilia.
Yeah, but there was also a 3 thing, and there was a lot of false negatives because they messed up.
Yeah.
And if I had another kid, or if I would have paid attention, like, this doesn't make sense. Trisomy 13 or 18 is something when the baby's more lethargic, and within the first year they usually pass away.
Wow.
And she even said, "This baby is definitely not lethargic." She had a very awesome voice, and I thought I should have used that and went with it, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, my baby's gonna die!" And if I would have
This isn't funny,
realized
actually.
you were playing drums in there the whole time and
You're banging
spinning
drums.
and spinning and spinning.
I highly doubt I was playing drums in your stomach.
Yes, because when I
Maybe I was
gave
banging
birth,
because I wanted to come out already.
guess what came out?
What?
A drumstick.
Okay. Yeah. but-
Julie was there. She caught it.
Wait, were you actually there, Julie? Hell yeah.
She bought food for me. And then in the middle of the night, I was like, I'm so hungry. Where's that food? And Daddy looked at me. He ate it all.
Thanks, Julie.
Wow, you're a great husband.
Max, do you realize the positive impact that your mom and father together have had on so many people before the internet?
What is that before internet?
Like
B.I.?
in real life, I guess. I don't know.
Because all I've had in my life is internet, so all
Yeah.
I've seen is my dad and my mom's positive impact on people, especially like
You can see it in writing
I
or
like that.
messages.
B.I.
yeah.
Before internet.
before internet. That's
Yeah.
like all I've seen. So I don't know how it was before, and I know before like maybe in 2002, 2001, 2000, like my dad wasn't as like
active.
and like
I was taking a vacation from music.
PMA as he was now and stuff.
I was
so
off the web, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, but for now, what I see is just it's all PMA and no
What
hate, all love.
What does it feel like to have a dad that loves you so much?
Come on. Who
No one
did
asked
someone
that.
really
Did
ask
someone
that?
really-
Top question, yeah.
Hey,
Max,
hey,
wh-
you
wh-
got a
wh-
good childhood, sir.
All
Like, you wanna
dads
talk
should
about
love
your
their
life?
kids.
Max, Max, what's something adults need to understand
No, we're
these
gonna
days?
answer this guy's question. I
Okay.
think it's great. Sometimes I don't understand it as much because he's so over like passionate, which is a good thing because he's in love with me because I mean, because who's not who's not in love with me? But like because I feel like he was never able to get the affection that he could from his father, so he always wanted to shove it on someone that he made.
You're
Wow.
shoving
Wow.
your
It's in a
love.
good way. It's in a good way. He's shoving his love on you and
Great.
affection, and that's a good thing. I love you.
Love you too. What is something adults need to
Shove your
understand these
love.
days that we're not understanding? What is some
I'm
advice?
sorry, Mom interrupted.
What are
you.
some adults? What is some advice you can give adults, Max, that they're not understanding about being parents?
about being parents?
Some
I can't speak because I don't like when people are like, "I'm going to teach you how to parent your children," but I'm not a parent myself. But
is there something that parents are not getting these days raising children? I feel like just by talking to you, no disrespect to any of your friends, I feel like we have such open communication that might be lacking in some of the
they
people's
know that too.
households.
They know that too. Like if
Yeah.
any of my homies
Max's
are listening,
friends come over here and their jaws are on the ground and they always say, Max, don't, like they're doing like the don't say, and they're always like, don't tell her that. And you always talk to me about stuff.
because I know you
and
like
then
trust
they
me.
pull me
Yeah.
around the corner and they say, I can't believe you guys talk about stuff.
Yeah,
And then they'll say that's awesome. But
it's a really good thing.
when I tell my girlfriends, oh, Max did this or Max said that, their first question is, how did you find out? Or who told you that? Because no way he would tell me or fess up to that stuff.
Yeah.
I think one good helpful advice is what I've seen from teachers in school and especially kids now with their like just life how it is and like a good thing. It's like it's hard. I don't know. It's like you gotta really be open with your kid, you know, like really like
Honest communication,
and
open
if
wavelength.
you can't force it out of them.
Yeah,
But it's not like if they're not being open with you, it's just they don't want to, and it's like you can't do anything about it. You can't force them, and they're just
Yeah.
gonna like
they'll be open with somebody else for sure.
yeah, definitely someone else. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. I
Are
don't
there any
really-
advice you can give kids who are growing up vegetarian and vegan and they're going to schools and they're the only ones at the school? Because that was you for a second at Larchmont, but they catered to you. Remember that?
I think it's really rare because the school I went to was really open, Larchmont Charter School where you're at. But it was really open community too. I don't know, it's really rare to find that, but it's like it's not, especially 2019.
Yeah.
It's like
even from when you started school, like Impossible and Beyond is everywhere now.
Totally.
now it is, yeah.
So
Totally.
I can't imagine it going backwards.
No, I know. And you guys
Like,
had the edible garden too at Larchmont.
Taking over.
Wasn't that cool? The edible garden.
For people who are talking
Yeah.
about like money is an issue when it comes to veganism and stuff, it's like it's at Burger King now.
It's everywhere.
It's at Del Taco. All this
There's
stuff.
broccoli. There's greens. There's vegetables.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know, maybe $1 extra for like something that's a little bit better for you. I don't know. It's not too much.
Do other kids at your school listen to hardcore music or punk music, or they just play Fortnite and do dance videos?
That's
a good one.
Mainly the second one. My school is very segregated between people, not like that too racist, but like not really. It's mainly like the druggies over here and like
The different cliques, like all high schools have.
Yeah, but it's like
the jocks.
Honestly, the kids I hang out with are the only kids at my school that tolerate the music. I listen to death metal
Yeah.
and like rock and roll.
Yeah.
No, I go to a classical music school and a jazz school. I brought in my double kick when we were recording there, and people are like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's a double bass, it's a double pedal," and they're like, "I'm like, I know they play jazz, so they don't know." But if anyone that goes to my school, like any of my friends that are listening to this, they know like they're the only kids that I hang out with that actually listen to rock and roll.
Yeah, they get
metal, like actual metal, like Death and stuff like that. You know, the originals.
But there are kids at your school that listen to like, classic punk.
Yeah.
Because I at least used to make mixtapes.
Keen, where you at?
I used to make mixtapes for you and play in or CDs or whatever,
Yeah.
and play in the car with, all kind from Coxbar and the Clash to Dead Kennedys and the Circle Jerks.
Our teacher, Mr. Hawkstein, he literally loves all that stuff.
But we would play it for you and you'd be like, whatever. And then you came home and you're like, have you ever heard this?
Or the Clash.
And we were like,
last year, he's like, "Oh, the
serious?"
Clash." I'm like, "Yeah, dude."
But that's because your parents aren't supposed to. I know some people
Force it
are
on
like,
you. They
Look,
think you do.
they go to shows and they have their kid that's dressed up like them.
Yes.
But
I mean, the two kinds of music you guys never introduced me to were death metal and country, and I
that's
love
what you're
death metal.
supposed
Yeah.
to do.
Yeah, I love that,
You're
Max.
supposed to, liking the same thing as us
It's a
would
great.
be weird.
Like, Mom, Freddie's one of your closest uncles. You see Madball a million times, but you never listen to their music.
Until recently.
Yeah, but but at the house, like only at the show. But now you're on Spotify in the kitchen doing homework, listening to Madball, demonstrating my style or pride or something. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm listening to Madball, and I think that's
that
cool
was crazy
because
day.
you found it, like you did it yourself. It wasn't forced on you as a kid.
Yeah.
Here's your uncles. Listen to this and this.
Yeah, I understand that.
To be
It's
my
just-
kid.
But it's also like sometimes it just takes a minute to like
Yeah.
introduce it to. But then I think about like Mackie and like how he plays. I can envision him playing it he's just such a great drummer.
Yeah. So this is a perfect great next question for you, Max. What's so great, Max, about mumble rap?
Next question.
Lil Pump is the best.
What is so great about it?
Stop. I got this. Mumble rap sucks, but there are a lot of mumble rappers who are good.
Like?
Okay, so if you want to describe mumble rap like Kodak Black, he's trash. Yeah, there's not a lot of good mumble rappers
I
want to
ask a serious question.
Uh-oh.
I know you can tell me like this specific band is mumble rap. You said Kodak Black, right?
No such thing
It's
as
just
mumble rap bands,
Not really
babe.
good.
They're like just
It's
artists.
only one person?
Yes, no mumble
Okay.
rap
Don't say
bands.
Migos, please
Oh,
don't
the
say
Migos. Not that Migos.
So good.
They're not Migos.
Migos
Migos
are
great.
great.
Migos are great.
They're not mumble rap?
No,
No.
they're
Okay.
great.
So can you just give me 2 sentences of a mumble rapper so I can know what you're talking about?
Okay. Go ahead, Max.
Slashing a bitch with water. Fucking a bitch with water. Like he sings it like that.
There you
Like-
go. That's it.
Okay.
What the hell you
That's
say?
perfect example.
Okay, you know what
Perfect
though? You know what
example.
though? No, you know what though? He says it better, but when you hear him rapping, he's like, "Slashing a bitch with water,
Mm-hmm.
water." If anyone else knows that song, Water, it's a famous song, but it's like
It sounds great.
Water. Fucking a bitch with water. It's like
What's
that.
good about you,
Is
Max?
that fucking a bitch with water?
Fucking a bitch with water.
It sounds great.
But Max knows like Tribe.
What's
What's good about Max is he's heard stuff growing up with us, Nas and Tribe and Biggie and all that stuff.
Yeah, great. And he listens to.
Actually, this is a great story. It's a great story, and it's we actually told Nas this story when me and Max met him. Is that Max? I always had hip hop that was censored in the car. A lot of Eminem records growing up in our Peachy Cruiser.
So there was no words at all.
There was a lot of hip hop that had censored, so Max wouldn't hear bad words. And somehow when he got a little bit older, I kind of slipped, and he heard a song.
That was a great day.
And he heard in a Nas song, he heard the N-word in a song over and over. And for some reason, some moment, I caught him in the rearview mirror, and I just knew that I knew that he heard it and wanted to ask me about it. I don't know how many days after, but we ended up having a discussion about that word. And because of the Nas song and that one moment, Max hearing it, it opened up a conversation about that word and how it got flipped as a term of endearment in the community, and they changed the ending of it and all that stuff. And I got to talk to Max about it. When I told Nas that story, he was like kind of blown away. He never thought about that actually happened to happen, like explain that song. Well, explain that word to somebody. You know what I mean? Like a young kid. So have kids ever bothered you in school for not partying and not eating meat?
Eating meat is like, are you gonna ever do it? And actually, same thing with like drugs and weed and shit, like alcohol. Like, you ever gonna do it? I'm like, usually my main response is like, no, I don't need it. And like, what? You don't need it? I'm like, yeah, I don't need it. Like,
I wasn't born with it.
Like the other day, actually a couple weeks ago, I was with me and my guitar player Anthony. We were just chilling, me, Anthony, and my friend. And we met these people, and they came up to us, and they just started talking to us. And I'm like, cool. And it's like, you guys drink? And then I said, no. And they said, you smoke? I said, no. And they're like, so what do you do? I'm like,
live.
I live life. And they're like, do you steal? I'm like, I was like, what? They're like, do you do illegal things? I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, I sneak into places like government reserve sometimes with the homies.
Sneak into government reserve.
Okay, like me and my friends sometimes will like go exploring and go into places, right?
Yeah.
Like not a big deal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not doing crack with my friends. But they're like, oh, so what do you do? I'm like, I sneak in places, and like they start laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? And they're like, do you steal? I'm like, no, I don't steal. And I'm like,
Jesus.
why? Do you want me to start stealing? Is that cool? And I'm like, this is stupid. And then they're like, do you drink? I'm like, answer. No. And they're like, have you ever?
You're
drank?
so boring.
I'm like, no. And I literally saw their faces be like, so what do you do? I'm like, I didn't need to hear them even say that. I said, you know what I do? I said, I play music with my friends and I hang out with my friends. I don't need to be drunk like you guys all the time. Like, do you do pills? I'm like, if I don't drink and I don't smoke, why would I do pills? Like, what the hell? Like, what are these kids on nowadays? It's so stupid.
Max, you were approached by an older adult, or was it just an older teenager to ask you to kind of be a mule?
Oh yeah, at my school, some kid came up to me.
I wasn't sure if it was an adult.
And I was with some skater friends of mine, and this sauce-ass kid in school came up to me. He looked like he was like 18 or something. He said visitor, and he came up to me. He's like, hey,
from the Scared Straight program.
He's like, he was trying to sell some weed for me. I'm like, who's this kid? And then he comes up to me. He's like, hey man. I'm like, what's up, man? And he's like, you trying to sell some weed for me? I'm like, no thanks, man. He's like, are you sure? You look like the perfect kind of seller, man. You're white and you probably live in a great neighborhood. I'm like, my neighborhood is filled with old white ladies. And I said, I doubt if I even wanted to, they'd want some. And he's like, oh man, you never know. And
hey Judy, you want to buy some weed?
Oh my God.
But it's like, what the hell? And he's like, you look great. You're white. You got good style. I'm like, what does style have to do anything with it, dude? And it was weird. He just came up to me. He's like, hey man, you want to sell? I'm like, I don't even know you, dude. Like, leave me alone. I just walked away.
It's very strange.
So weird. What's the next
Max,
question?
There's no old white ladies in this neighborhood too. That's odd.
Max, you gonna get any tattoos? And where's
Hell yes.
And now, where's your favorite place to go in Europe?
You gotta.
Can you talk about the first tattoo you talked about for
take
years?
It slow, man. We want to go through these questions nicely.
Okay.
Take it slow, man.
Okay. Go ahead. Go. Rude. So fucking rude. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Max, are you ever gonna get tattooed? And what would be your first tattoo?
Yes, I'm gonna get tattooed 100%. I don't think anyone can tell me. I don't think anyone can tell me I cannot, because just look at you.
I can.
You can, but you still got them too, and
True that.
you have some really stupid tattoos on you.
Name one.
The smiley face for no reason.
It's not a smiley face. It's a unsmiley face, and it's a distiller's tattoo.
It's a band tattoo, babe.
The only thing that
It's
I
true.
have that's not
I'm gonna get a
flowers,
Slipknot tattoo.
whether it's your name or his name, everything else is flowers.
Okay, so what I want to do is I want to get, no matter what, I'm gonna speak as if this is going to happen.
Okay.
But a Ren tattoo, 100%, no matter what, an H2O tattoo.
Respect.
I'm definitely gonna get my mom's name so she cannot be mad at me.
Yeah. On your face. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was gonna say mom. I've always wanted to get an upside down cross on me, but the thing is that in the future, I'm not saying this is gonna happen, but usually when you're on your deathbed, people get really afraid of death, and so they start to become like Christians and stuff. But I'm not saying that's gonna happen. But I think I'm still gonna get an upside down cross tattoo.
At 16, you're anticipating dying and then scarcely being scared and becoming a Christian. That's insanity.
No. I want to get upside down cross tattoo. It just depends on where. Maybe like, I don't know.
On your any area.
Yeah, I'll do it on my any area. I've always wanted.
Hi, Papa.
This podcast is over, man. What's the tattoo we always talked about getting though originally?
No, I've always wanted to get a tattoo underneath my lip or like inside my lip, like you guys have.
Yeah.
You have hardcore and what do you have? You have it
says
says
Toby.
Toby.
I want to get one that says like, "School sucks." No, I don't know. Something really cool under there, like straight edge or
Whatever.
XXX.
Yeah.
In there. That'd be really sick.
So you went on a walk with one of your grandmothers and ran into a black
It was grandma guitar.
bird. And you came home, and Dan Smith was living down the street-ish, and you said, I want to get a tattoo. I want a tattoo on my face of a dead blackbird.
That's what you're saying, Max.
I remember that.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take
You
these
wanted that
broken
for a
wings
long
and learn to
time.
fly.
That's disgusting.
Why? Me and Max used to play that song in school. That was a really
La
awesome
la
song.
la.
You can't sing, Mama.
Max, what's it growing up with a straight edge parent? And how is it influencing your life and your choices and your feelings towards weed, alcohol? And now that you're getting older, the majority of your peers around you are probably
Who really asked
experimenting.
this?
Experimenting with that. You guys are ruining the podcast, man. And your peers who are probably experimenting with one another. Is there any pressure there for you, Max?
That's a good question. For whoever asked that, I don't know. I don't remember the first part which you asked.
Is there any pressure for being a drug-free kid at your school because people are experimenting with weed and alcohol? and stuff?
My opinions on it is that my friends who do it, I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as they don't pressure me, and they don't.
Yeah.
So that's all that really matters. I have actually a lot of friends who smoke and do drugs, but I'm not pressured like you.
Yeah.
You probably grew up with a lot of friends
Exactly.
who do drugs. All of my friends doing like, I'm not gonna name names, but like smoke weed,
Yeah.
acid.
Can I name their names?
No, can you please not?
Mom's a snitch. Go ahead.
But like all this stuff, like people experimenting with crazy shit, but like
Hi, Danny. Hi, Bobby.
She's,
Hi, Jimmy.
she's making up
these
names.
are not even
Go.
names. But like all these people that are like,
Looks like Mama smokes some weed already.
I need to.
But all these people, they don't really care. They don't care if I don't do it. So like, say once, yeah, I don't smoke, then I don't really care. But like, if they smoke, I don't get uncomfortable. If they smoke in front of me, it doesn't bother me at all unless they don't pressure me, and they don't. So it's all good.
Who was playing during your first mosh pit? I know the answer to these ones. Your
Wait,
first
what?
stage. Who was playing on stage? You did your first stage dive. Mama knows that, and your first mosh pit.
First stage I was at the Aquabats.
That was not really a stage dive in
You
a
got
weird
thrown
way.
in the crowd, right?
I got thrown.
DB said to us when we got there,
Forcefully.
Max goes, "Oh my gosh, the Aquabats are playing," and I was like, "What the hell?
Yeah.
Who the hell? And how do you know that?"
Yeah.
And
Gabba Gabba, because of Gabba
he
Gabba,
was so
I think.
excited.
Yo, Gabba Gabba,
And
hey.
DB goes, "Just so you know, that singer's known for throwing kids off stage." And I was like, "What is he talking about?" I thought
Not
he
in a
meant,
bad way, though.
I thought he meant like pushing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he was 5.
Yeah.
So
It's an incredible photo, man.
we were on the side of the stage, and the guy calls everyone out there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's common with him. But
He also has a kid with a wheelchair out there, which is awesome.
and he
Riding the
threw
crowd.
him out there.
Yeah.
But the guy looks over to find whose parents are this kid, and you looked at me. We were like looking over my head.
Yeah.
And you go, you were starting to say no.
And all of a sudden,
and I did like thumbs up.
Yeah.
And he flew over. He was like 3 feet ahead of people's.
We gotta post a photo, babe. It's an incredible photo.
It's crazy.
I always told people that was a Mad Ball show.
And
or
he
Sick
was
Ball
actually
show.
flying. Like you were flying.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I always say it's a Rancy show because Rancy was on that show too. It wasn't just an Aquabat show. No disrespect. I love those dudes. Max, where would you be without music and skateboarding?
My dad's.
And why'd you quit skateboarding?
Yeah,
That's my question.
Okay, my dad really gets upset. Actually, recently he got really upset that I stopped skateboarding.
You were so good.
Dude, honestly, he's sort of like one of those dads that's like, my daughter's a tennis player and she's so pro, and then she just stops and he's like,
He's a
why'd you
stage
stop?
mom.
I don't know, man. Like, I stopped because I had so much other stuff going on in my life. It's so hard to keep up, and
You were an incredible skater.
after I fractured my ankle down those stairs, the video I posted a long time ago, I was off for the whole summer. In the summers when I skateboard, and then I got back into school, I was like, shit, I can't skate.
Yeah.
So it was like after that was like 5 months, and then I tried to get back on skateboard. I was like, my ankle still hurts, and I can't do anything.
Yeah, you rolled your ankle hard. I remember that. You were
So
screaming
to get
bloody
back to
murder.
where I was. But the other day, after a performance I did at school, my friend, he's like, he never comes to class. He's like, I'll come to class tomorrow if you land a hard flip on this penny board. And I actually tray flipped it, frontside flipped it, hard flipped it, and I backside flipped it.
This
on
is recently?
Yes, the other
What?
day. Yeah, yesterday on a penny board.
Oh, shit.
My friend was there. He saw the whole entire thing. But
The
where would
whole entire thing?
the whole entire thing. But where would I be without music and skateboarding?
You're a great soccer player.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but that's not something I wanted to pursue, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a hard question.
Maybe I'd do better in school. Maybe
Less
I
distraction.
wouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't. But I don't know if my life would be any better if I was better in school, because I wouldn't have as many quality friends as I had now that I do.
I
you
agree.
know?
Yeah. Do you listen to Pink Floyd? And if so, what's your favorite album?
No, I don't. I know 1 or 2 songs, but like they're not my thing.
You like Pink Floyd too, Mama, or no? You never liked them, babe?
No.
What-
I don't not like them. I just don't care.
This is a question for me and you, Moon. What is some music we listen to together that we could both agree on that's good music? I know you guys listen to hip-hop or rockabilly. So what is something together we both love? What are some bands we
You
can
love
name?
Robert Gordon?
Yeah, no, not Robert Gordon. Music that we love together. The Cure, we can say we love together, right?
Yes.
The Circle Jerks, we can say we love together.
Yes.
Circle Jerks, the Circle Jerks, The Cure, we can
What
say we love
else?
together. The Cro-Mags, we love together.
Run the band.
Yes.
Brendan, we love together.
Yes.
Bad Brains, we love together.
Yes.
Madonna, we love together.
No.
Sade, we love together.
Sade reminds me of asshole Toby, but yes.
Coldplay.
Coldplay, we do not like, babe.
No. And the funny thing, there's a weird thing you do.
Yeah,
Some song comes on the radio, and you're like, this is our song.
yeah,
This is our song, the Goo Goo Dolls. I'm like,
yeah.
the who do whats? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You did that with Coldplay. You did that with Goo Goo Dolls, and like a handful of other things.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When did you stop eating meat, and what inspired you to do that? Because you inspired me to go vegan, but I was vegetarian before that. What inspired you to go vegetarian, and what year was that?
1985.
Okay,
I quit eating meat on Thanksgiving.
okay,
I was, grew up in the Midwest, and my mom was very like, you have to have this.
the 4 food groups.
And
Yes.
so
That's funny.
Thanksgiving was the day. Like, I had quit before that,
Yeah.
but finally I was like, foot down. I'm not doing this anymore. Like,
yeah.
done. And then same thing, weirdly enough, then when I became vegan, same thing on Easter. Like, I'm not eating this anymore.
Yeah.
And Easter was my day.
Because people don't put 2 and 2 together. Like actually making dairy hurts animals just as bad.
Worse.
Yeah.
Where's my question?
It's more for Mama now. Curious about your name, Moon.
Oh.
Where'd your name Moon come from?
Cat Stevens.
I'm being followed by a moon shadow.
Yes.
Yes.
My Aunt Mary and Uncle Bill would follow my mom around like a moon shadow.
Yeah.
And they called me Moon Shadow,
Yeah.
Mooney, or Moon. and that stuck.
Okay. Listening to this person listened to the episode 3 times, and they said, it sounds like that my mom's religious and your mom's religious. And
are you talking about me or you?
Yeah, both of us, and she's not sure what our religion is.
I thought that's a weird question, because what part of that podcast do you think, I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Maybe you talked about it with your mom in your podcast.
I did.
But what part of the podcast did it?
Does it bother our parents we don't go to church and never took really Max to church and didn't raise Max with no God?
But I don't understand where they got that my mom was
I don't know.
religious.
I don't think it bothers your mom. I don't think it bothers your mom at all.
Maybe they got the vibe
but
from that.
But weirdly enough, Max had a freak out. He had a total freak out and said, "I don't want you to go to hell." And
yeah,
I remember that.
And that was because the ice cream. You weren't listening to me. I made you get back in the car, and I said,
"Oh yeah,
I'm not taking you in there."
I was being a bitch that day
because I would be a bad mom if I let you go back in there when I said no.
Yes.
And we used to call it "Don't be an EB." Like when people be driving to the park, and they'd say, "You're not going to the park if you don't." Da da da. It's true. And then
Mama putting other parents
on
blast on my podcast.
I don't care. It's just a fact.
Mama's putting other parents on blast on my podcast.
On the way to the park. Guess what? We're not going to the park if you don't
please.
shut up. If you don't shut up, we're not going.
I got you.
And then you're going to the park.
Okay, I want to weigh on this. I want to weigh in on this, and I'm not going to name drop anyone. You psycho.
Just facts.
Coming from someone who was baptized but had no say in it, so I think I'm gonna
unbaptized.
I'm gonna unbaptize myself. No,
I'm gonna uncircumcise. So don't worry about it.
I want to do that. No.
Put it back.
Yeah. No. I wasn't obviously like I didn't choose that obviously, but I don't really care.
I'm sorry we did that too.
I think it was just tradition.
Yeah, it's tradition.
Okay, let's
what
do
about
it.
when we got his weenie cut with him screaming in the room?
How dare you do that?
It was horrible, Mama.
Yeah,
what does it have to do with?
Just 2 things he didn't. He had no choice, and we did it to him.
Disrespectful. No, wait.
Disrespectful.
Go
ahead, go.
Let me finish.
Go.
But a mushroom looks better than a burrito.
Can you stop?
Or a taquito, depending on what.
or a sharpened pencil.
Okay, go.
Okay, wait.
This is getting fucking crazy. Go.
Okay, so like I don't know. I don't think religion in our family is there. I think I consider you, Mama, an atheist.
But my mother was like, "You need to take him to church more." And that day I said, "He has a fear of God already." That's like Catholic guilt and pushing. Like, you need to take him to church.
Yeah, I'm glad Max didn't grow up like that.
Why? You didn't take me to church.
The one time we actually went
she didn't force you to go to church?
She didn't go with me. I mean,
I got forced
Easter
to go to church,
and on Christmas.
I was like 5 years old when we went to this one church. It was down our street. Some dude for 3 hours speaking in Spanish.
He didn't speak any. No. I don't think he was Spanish.
I think so. It was 3 hours. We sat there. It was the worst time. I was
terrible.
so bored.
Damn.
It was terrible.
My mom used to make us go.
I'm like, what's he saying?
I know not all of them are like that, but I know they all preach like that, and I don't like when they all. I know you're gonna be like, no, my church doesn't preach. It's like
Chad's church is like musical. They go and sing
that's
songs.
cool. That's cool.
But I'm not into that. But what's the next question?
I liked eating the bread of the body of Christ.
You really do.
The bread was good. The little piece of white bread I had when I was a kid. It was
I just found out
it was like bread with no crust on it, like mushed.
Is this a fact? Maybe you know, Julie.
I think
Mary was 12. And
it's true.
Joseph was like 70 plus.
It's true. Mr.
I'm not
Hoxton was telling us.
He was 70 plus.
I'm not following any religion that allows pedophiles to
a
creep out,
molestation,
and then Mary is 12 to 14.
Did you not know
and
that?
Joseph, no, it's disturbing.
I learned this a couple months ago, and Mr. Hoxton's class, he was telling us, like, he was like in his like late 60s, early 70s, and she was like 14.
And someone said to me, "Well, that's cultural." You know what? Well, that cultural sucks.
It was back then.
I don't care.
Normal.
Is that why there's so many cases of priests?
I'm not saying. Okay, wait.
Is that why there's so many cases of that?
No. I was.
Because they think it's okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Can you not? Okay. I'm not saying this is okay, but back then it was like normal. It's probably like in like 300 years now. They're like, oh, they like imagine like having to date someone your own age or like stuff like that. It's like it's just it was normal.
Let's get off the subject.
Please.
Hey,
9.
How do we know we're ready for a kid? Because I always tell people you can't be financially, physically, mentally ready to have a kid. If you want to do it, you just do it. Correct?
Facts.
Mom, that's what we just did. We're in love. We're going to have a baby. Let's just do it. We had no plans. We're going to move to New York and start a family. We're not right away.
Except
and
we didn't move to New York. We moved to California.
I moved to California from New York. You know what I'm saying, babe?
Correct.
So you get what's advice for people about planning to have a kid? Just do it.
Just do it.
Facts.
I mean, you have to do it to get the baby, but I'm saying just in general, Mama.
I know so many people. I'm not gonna There's two people. There's the person that buys the Lexus and figures out how they're gonna pay for it, and there's the people that save up for it forever and then buy it. There's two different kinds, and it's like, well, you do A or you do B.
Yeah.
And guess what? You just do it.
Yeah.
Okay. You're never gonna have enough money when you think it's gonna be perfect.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get the perfect everything. You just do it.
Okay. I agree. And this question is how for Moon. Like, I know a lot of ladies deal with this situation. How'd you deal with me being on tour? You're not being with me, but the case is you toured with me for 10 years before Max was born, so you're with me most of the time. But when you weren't with me, how did you deal with me being gone besides party and cheat on me and have fun with your friends?
How could we ever deal without Toby?
Mama,
the party sign goes on the second you out the door.
Exactly.
It's like a green blink light.
Yeah.
Every
every
on
summer.
air.
Yeah.
On tour. Woo!
Every summer you get at least 2 weeks by yourself. That's pretty freaking awesome. I take Max to Europe. Maybe 3 weeks this summer.
Well, 2 weeks out of 365 days. Congrats.
I clean the house the first day.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the time it's spotless.
Yeah.
When you come home, it's Tornado City.
Yeah.
And it's everywhere. And I want to know if anyone has a Roomba and if they like it.
This is a great question. I just for Moon for the podcast. My wife and I have been together for 8 years, and I'm the first musician she ever dated. What's it like dating a musician who loves his band members and will eventually go on tour? Well, we talked about this earlier. Is that sometimes
it depends if you like them or not.
I'm not talking about this person. I'm talking about the people, the girls that will get after band members, and they want them. They finally get them. They say, "I love you, I love you." Now quit your band.
Yeah.
But you met me through the band. Like, this is what I do. I was a musician before I met you. That's not this case. I'm saying.
Do you have to go on that
What is some advice for the ladies or that's the man about to go on tour? I don't know.
Well, don't sign up for the class if you don't want to, finish the course.
Good point. Yeah.
That's a major. I just bums me out so much seeing it. It's happened in your band and in friends' bands and bands I don't know.
Yeah.
You see them sign up for it and then they get devastated and what you just said.
Yeah.
Just reiterating. But and then same thing, I've said it before, I like it when you go on tour.
Me too. I think absence makes the heart grow stronger, and I think that's what kept our marriage long, is me leaving and missing each other.
That's cliche.
It's not a cliche. It's
that's
pretty
true.
much, it's pretty factual for me and you.
Yeah, see you later.
Max, what's your favorite memory and experience that made an impact on you between you and your mom?
What do you mean?
An impact and a memory experience that you can cherish forever.
Do you have any memories of your mother?
Together.
No.
Just all right, think about this.
No.
What if I passed away tomorrow? What would be the thing that you said when you're sprinkling my ashes and throwing in people's faces?
By the way, Moon wants to take my ashes and bring him to a show and throw them in somebody's face in the crowd.
But I want to say that H2O is playing, and then do the intro.
And put a fan on and throw him in the
fan.
fan.
The band starts playing, and I go out and I throw
We're
it
ruining
in
Max's
faces.
episode. Okay, go, Max.
Okay, I'm going to
A memory of your mom.
Well, it's not a memory. It's like whenever you're gone, we get to do stuff,
You have your time with Mama.
Yeah. So one memory, there's a lot. I mean, never going to forget that embarrassment day. That was a tragic day. I don't know. There's like just days. It's like sometimes you just remember that one thing you guys did. Like I used to remember all the time when I was like, if I didn't cry after school in kindergarten, she would take when you were on tour.
Ice cream.
No, we would go to the Grove, and she'd get me a veggie hot dog, and we'd chill there and maybe get ice cream afterwards.
Aww.
Every time, no matter if I didn't cry, because we used to have to stay.
You're emotional.
Because she used to be in work like further than, where was it, near Silver Lake?
Yes.
And I was in
on
school
Chola.
in like West Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I would have to stay after school, and it would get dark out, and I'd be like, she's never coming back. I was always
Can I
at
do
that
was
fear.
traumatized.
association?
Yeah, I was traumatized.
This is an important story. I'm going to try to make it small and quick as I can.
It's all
Not
good, baby.
happen.
Tell it. It's all good.
Christmas time
Yes.
gets darker earlier.
Yeah.
Max always had trouble with like the time change.
Yeah, he didn't know
and
it.
He would be like,
I had abandonment issues since I've been
at
abandoned.
Christmas time, you would think that I left him at the school for 3 days, forgot to pick him up, something where like he's in therapy till he's 48 years old.
Yeah.
We show up and he's bursted blood vessels over his face because he was crying so hard. And the two people were very kind of cold at his daycare.
Yeah.
And they were patting him on the back like
Russian.
They were like, "It's okay. It's okay, Max." Like not loving at all.
Punching him in the shoulder.
And he's just standing there
eating his rice and white bread.
wailing. And it was like 5:20 and he's like, "You're late." And I'm like, "I'm on time. It's just dark. You're late." So then I had to take you to the dentist and you're wailing about something, crying. They put you in a straitjacket. "Give me a hug. Give me a hug." And I lean over to hug you.
I remember this.
And I lean over to hug you and you go, "I want to use my arms."
Aww.
And it was so sad. I said, "After this, Max, we'll go wherever you want to go." And Madagascar was a movie at the time. And he looked me in the face and said, "I want to go to San Diego."
Oh my God, I remember this. I remember this.
Since he couldn't read,
Yeah.
I took
I
him
still
to
can't.
Fresno. And
So San Diego.
and it's complete opposite if
Yeah.
you've been to either of the places.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember this. Oh my God, I was like, oh my God, we're in San Diego.
And then
You in Fresno.
the,
Wah,
next,
wah, wah.
the next year, we saw Nurse Laura and Michelle
That's
and
awesome.
Rusty with Indy. But
That's
the
awesome.
next year in school, one of his classmates, Chloe, said, "Oh, we're going to San Diego." Max said, "Us too." And the mom said, "Oh, you're going to San Diego?" And I do "Hey, we're going to Fresno." And she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And I told her the story, and she's like, "That's genius.
I still can't read.
I'm going to do
We're going to
that."
paint our PT Cruiser, too.
And so we went to Fresno
Yeah.
yearly to see Nurse Laura and Michelle and Rusty and Indy.
Can we tell the story about the one time ever in our whole entire life with Max where you came home drunk, puked in the front
I was
lawn,
traumatized.
and then Max told all the
that
parents
you're an
an
alcoholic.
Please tell that story.
One of the dads pulled me aside after like a hangout and said, "I have to tell you something." We were at the gas station filling up gas, and Max said, "That smells familiar. My mom drinks alcohol all day, every day." And it was Booker's dad. And he goes, I think I know it's not true, but
He's telling
this
people
is
at
what he
school my
said."
mom's a drunk.
And then fast
He's trying to get mama
forward,
locked up.
he's hanging out with these twin girls.
Yeah.
I go to pick him up, and the mom says, "It's so nice to meet another mom that hasn't." She had a term for it, like an elder. I didn't know what she meant
Oh, yeah, this
because
is great.
I didn't have an elder.
This is great.
And I said, "What are you talking about?" Because he liked to tell stories.
Yeah.
And she said, "I have an older son. You too. Sorry about him being in jail because he got pulled over drunk driving in Tennessee." And I was like, So
Max had imagination.
I said to this other mom, "My kid's a fucking liar."
Yeah.
Oh,
And
shit.
Cheryl,
Yeah.
Case's mom, said, "He's not a liar. When he breaks something, does he say, 'I did it'?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Yeah, he's not a liar. He just has imagination."
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's...
He has
being-
imagination issues. Let's get him checked.
I was,
I was
oh
gonna
my
say that. That
gosh.
was a good one.
Max, you remember doing that, though?
I remember.
And
I
then
was-
that same dad, again, Booker's dad, said again that you said about drinking. And he said, "I just
I
want to
remember
let you
that.
know so you don't get in trouble." And I said to you in
alcoholic,
the
you.
car, "Max, you can tell all the stories you want, but if the police come to the house to take you away, I can't help you."
I remember I said that story is because I was traumatized after seeing that, because I remember after she threw up in the yard,
Mushrooms grew.
mushrooms grew. I was like, oh my God, I was so
I'm
traumatized.
talented.
What's the next question I want to
What's it been like being a kid growing up around your parents and all your uncles who play? We already had that one. How'd that shape you? And dealing up nice hearing younger generation's journey, being vegan, toddlers. That question will go. What's your dad's favorite deathcore song? I have no deathcore song. I have no favorite deathcore song. Sorry.
You don't like
I do. I have a favorite one.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, that's
It's
from
not
Ernst. Ernst is asking your
it's
favorite.
Oh,
deathcore.
okay.
not fit for an autopsy, but it's one of those bands that used
Dying
to do
fetus?
and around that time, and then
Job for a Cowboy.
there's a girl that goes, "Ah!"
No, it's mama. It's
Jesus
mama.
Christ.
It's a man, but it sounds like a girl. It's
It's
Job for a Cowboy.
Yeah.
I knew it, babe.
That's my favorite song.
I knew it.
It's a good song. Deathcore band?
Yeah, Ernst wants to know. What up, Ernst?
I got you, Ernst. Okay.
Favorite death
Ernst.
metal band.
Okay.
Having a baby named Moon.
Go ahead. Go. Don't make a pause in the episode.
Dying
Fuck.
fetus is great. I love I'm right now. I'm really in love with
the Coco.
Dying Feet. I gotta get my phone for this. I got a whole playlist full of like death metal bands. I'm really into like death and like lots of different like new.
Great.
But Favorite Autopsy was your best. You're such a poser.
No,
name your fucking bands, kid.
Dead, Dying Fetus, shit like that. I don't know.
Okay. So Max, what's your favorite part about making your own music and trying to make a mark in this industry? Love Ren, by the way.
Oh, thank you, sir.
It's a girl.
How do you know
it's
not a
man.
woman?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry, I assumed your gender.
I'm gender fluid.
Okay.
Cisgender.
Can you stop?
Night.
Dude, man.
Yet.
Moon, I can't fucking end this podcast.
Today.
Fuck, man.
I said
I'm
no
tri-semester.
to Max
Shut the fuck up.
20 different ways in 20 different languages.
Great.
And he was so frustrated. I kept going, yet, 9.
Okay, we
now.
got it. What was your question? I forgot.
I fucking erased it. What's it like making your own music, your own sound in this
okay,
industry?
Okay.
You need a fucking timeout, lady. Go. Go, Max. Go.
I think I would say it's because it's really different from a lot of different bands.
Totally.
Like, playing it in front of people like good artists too. Like
seeing Tim Armstrong's reaction.
Yeah.
And
Like
Skibas and my brothers
dude,
and
like
your uncles bugging on
you
it.
play the music and it sounds like 90s grunge rock and roll, some of it, and then you got like aspects
Quicksand vibe too, man.
metal, like you got these metal vibes, and then you hear the vocals. Our vocalist Nick,
awesome,
fucking incredible singer.
Nick.
Like deep voice. You got a deep voice. You got like deep and like soulful voice. First try on just a song that's hopefully coming out soon.
Yeah,
it's crazy. His voice is just incredible.
I love your throwback vibe. You got a Mr. Bungle 90s grunge vibe. I
That's
love
what
it.
everyone says, but
I love that.
First of all, I don't even know what Mr. Bungle is, but Nick loves Mr. Bungle.
Yeah.
He loves all that stuff.
Mama, and this is for us, Mama. Would you be bummed if Max started eating meat, or would that bum you out?
If I was a specific religion and my kids stopped being that religion, would I be bummed out? Same.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like when people say, oh, you raise your kid this or that, and then I put it into perspective like that. You raise your kid how you are, and then when they grow up, they decide if they want to continue down that road.
Yeah, I agree.
Or they change.
I agree.
It's no different.
That's
Vegetarian veganism is our religion.
Yeah, it's Max's choice, obviously.
It's our life.
This is a question for Max. Do you believe it is a chance or rather an obstacle to have a father you have if you aim to make your band a big...
No idea what you're saying.
That's how the guy wrote it.
Well, just say it again.
Do you feel any pressure to have a successful band because your dad's in one that isn't?
No,
to be the first person with a successful band in the
you
family.
feel pressure to make it as
like
a musician.
going to college.
No, you know, I think I don't feel any pressure. I feel sometimes like not pressure.
Yeah.
For music, it's just that my dad's done very well with his music and his career and what else he's done. I'm like a little nervous to try to follow in his footsteps. I'm putting up my fingers as quotations, like footsteps. You know? But like, you know, that's it.
How did I make it through the early years of touring and leaving Moon and Max at home? That was hard because I went from having my wife on tour for 10 years, selling merch and being with me around the world, to all of a sudden going on tour without my wife for the first time, and yet having a kid at home, a newborn, which at that time, when you first have a kid, you don't feel like, I always just say to Moon, like, when is it my turn to like feel like I'm actually a part of this kid's life, because he was just on the tit. That's all he wanted was my wife's breast, and he was just eating and pooping and all that shit. I cleaned diapers, but I'm just saying that it was just it was hard to have that connection. So the best time for me to tour was when Max was first born, because like we talked earlier about, he didn't know the time differences. I was gone for 6 weeks. It could have been 6 fucking minutes or 6 days. So, I think the best time to tour is when Max was super, super young. And for anybody having a kid who's in the band, that's the best time to go, because the baby and the mom are inseparable. So that's a really good question. How did Moon get into roller skating? I'm a girl with pink hair and I roller skate everywhere also. Does Moon skate ramps or parks?
Neither.
I skate outside.
Yeah, street skater.
And I go to the roller skating rink.
Yeah.
But I've always skated outside. I go from my house to the beach and back.
Yeah.
When I lived in New York, I roller skated out the door, all over.
Everywhere.
Only.
Yeah, uptown,
and
downtown.
Back.
Yeah.
Uptown, downtown, to work. And then that was when they weren't allowing anyone to rollerblade.
Yeah.
And I would be like, no, I got roller skates.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, get out of the store.
This one's for Chaka. Do you guys share the same musical taste? Yes, we both love Burn. That question's
That
answered.
was my answer.
Oh, yeah, we both do, though, babe. There's another question from
copied
Moon.
me.
I want to hear more about Moon working at the infamous clubs during the age of rap.
Show up.
We saw the Wu-Tang when Old Dirty Bastard got arrested.
I really wasn't looking.
Saw Mary J. Blige there. Saw 90 by Nature. Saw Tribe Called Quest. De La Soul. Saw Jungle Brothers. Saw Black Moon. Saw so many hip-hop shows at the Palladium, at the Limelight, and at the Tunnel. Correct, Moon?
Yes.
And you waited on LL
Grace
Cool
Jones.
You waited on LL Cool J. You waited on Tupac. You waited on who else, babe?
Lots of people. I'll be sure.
I'll be sure it's not hip-hop, but that's
No.
good.
But he used to wad up a $20 bill every time. Only $20. Wad it small as it could
That's
be.
amazing.
And put it in my hand and go, don't share this with anyone. Meanwhile, there was teenagers giving me like $600 a night
Wow.
on tips.
Max, what is your proudest moment of your parents? Besides making you.
Your podcast.
Thanks.
Famous podcaster.
How about we did it? I want to say my proudest moment as a person who was a freak at your school, when we had to raise money for your school, and I just booked a show in New York. We raised $5,000.
We didn't have to.
At
We
Larchmont
just did
Charlie.
it.
Yeah, we like thought about doing something out of the box and out of the ordinary. So we did the show in New York, raised the money, and came back to school, gave him a check. Like, how'd you do that? We said, we put a show on with my band. That's what we do. And that felt good to do that, Mama. You agree with that one?
We got kind of like the side eye and the funny smirk the whole year.
Yeah.
Everyone talked about doing it.
Yeah.
No one did it. We showed up that last day of school and said to the principal, here you go. And her face was like,
What the hell? That was awesome.
You guys
That
just
was nice.
bum rushed my question, but
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Go,
I,
Bit.
I think your podcast.
Oh, yeah, that was a question for Max.
Sorry, Max. Go.
Yeah, most of them are. And then you talk.
Go, Max.
I just said it.
My podcast. Thank you. What's our favorite couple moment outside our wedding, childbirth, and our first date that we love? Do we live again? Mama?
I wouldn't want to live those again.
No, not those. Other ones. Another moment that we had that's not giving birth, not getting married, not our first date, which was Basketball Diaries, by the way.
Yes, with Sarah Moy and Chris Garver.
Sick.
That
double
was
date.
the double date.
Awesome. So what's another moment, babe? Happened.
That we'd want to relive.
I would say that tour in 1995 with Siv and Sycamore on the bus. That was really fun. Going to Europe with you.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a moment or no?
That was a time.
Yeah. Was there a moment you'd like to relive again? Like a time? How about living in New York when New York
You know
is-
what? A lot of my moments that I love are like bringing you to Bikini Kill or to bringing
loves
you
that
to
so
Roll
much.
Crown Review because
Zoot
your
Suit Riot.
face when your face when that dude called you out,
Yeah,
like
Robert
what
Gordon,
are you?
yeah.
No, like just all that. Seeing you be like, oh,
Bauhaus.
what did I get myself into?
Bauhaus,
Yes,
wild music, yeah.
you hate it
Yeah.
and all that, but you also like, oh, I don't know about this band. I make you go and you like it.
What's your favorite tattoo I have? Both of you guys.
You go.
Definitely the tribal all over.
Oh, great, thanks.
Mm,
Max?
Favorite tattoo you have?
Yeah.
That was a joke.
I know, babe.
The Prince one.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you, Mama?
I actually no. She
Can you
already
do me a
said it.
favor? Julie's already seen your doinger. Just stand up naked right there and spin so I can
Can
get
you
it.
not?
No, man. What is your
I
problem?
What
wanna
the
see-
hell?
I want to see all of them again just so I can know what's my favorite.
I don't want to see that.
I want to check my wife's intoxication levels after this podcast
I
is
got
over.
a question for you.
It-
Remember when we counted your tattoos and did a line?
Years
that,
ago.
That was like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
and
with
you
a
had over
Sharpie.
1,000.
Yeah, years ago.
Put your arms up.
Max, do you consider yourself an optimistic or pessimistic person?
I love that
What
one,
that
and
means.
I hate.
Are you positive or negative?
I know what I gotta say.
I'm positive, but not every single thing in the world can always be a positive thing. You
Yeah.
can't always look at something a positive way, or it could get you a negative outcome. Like it's really hard to think about it. Like, but not every single thing in the world is positive, and sometimes you gotta be like, no, it's not a good thing. So you just gotta you gotta take it and be like, you know what? You can try to make it into a positive, but sometimes things are made into negative ways and feelings, and you can't get rid of it.
Max, I like that answer. My other question to you, Max, do you have any daily rituals as a 16-year-old kid besides waking up and go to school? Do you have something you do every single day besides your streaks and your Snapchats?
Can you think
Do-
about that? And
and
I
it-
can say my favorite and worst favorite tattoo.
Yeah, do
Yeah,
it.
go.
Go, Max.
My favorite was the love tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's my unfavorite because you messed it up.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
I loved it.
Okay.
And now I don't like it.
What was an anti-love tattoo against a person who cheated on me?
I just like
and
the
then
whole
I got real
concept
love
of it.
with you, so it didn't represent what it represented originally.
Right, but you put a circle and line through the best part.
Through a gun. I don't like guns. I wish I had
I
a gun. That's you. Well, that's your deal.
Bang, bang.
I know.
Opposite attracts. You're a big gulp. I'm a green juice.
I know what I
Go,
do
Max.
every day. Drums.
Drums.
100%.
That's your ritual every day. You come home. I have to get the stress out. You go in your bedroom for like 10 to 15 minutes and play drums.
That, and it used to be skateboarding, but now it's drums. Listen to music every single day. I can't go one whole day without music. 100% can never do that. Like, my dad dropped me off at school, left my AirPods in the car, made him drive back. I'm like, I cannot go to school without my AirPods. I always have to be listening to music no matter what, because music is get out stress.
It's a release.
It's
Hey,
everything.
Max.
Yeah.
Are you the kid at school that not only air drums,
Yes.
because
That's
that's
me.
how you got in your band, by
Yep.
air drumming, but
Great story.
do you drum on your desk?
No, I don't do that, actually. Nick does that a lot. I don't know why.
Okay. And do you
air drum.
write on your desk?
No, I don't write on my desk. But actually, on my English desk, there's a lot of my teacher, Miss Londa. She got upset with me, cause she saw like a bunch of writing on my desk, and I'm like, what? And it said like, on my desk, if you do not succeed, do drugs, sell drugs, do drugs. I love drugs, like all this stuff. And she's like, did you write this? I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm like, no, I didn't write this. There's one thing I wrote. I said, follow at Ren the band, and I wrote that on every single desk in our entire class. She's like, did you write this? I'm like, yeah, you should go follow it. But
And she's a teacher who likes metal, correct?
Yo, you would never suspect it. She's like a 5. I think she's 4'11" or something like that. 4'11" teacher. She's super sweet, like a petite English teacher, like super young, maybe like in her early 20s, late 20s. And she's like, yeah, I used to grow up like no one really understood me, and I listened to music I liked. I'm like, huh. In the beginning, I was like, huh, was it metal? And she's like, yeah, it actually was. I'm like, wow. And so I talked to her about metal and stuff like that. So she's really chill like that. And she came to our last show. So
Can you tell us how the guys in Redden found you? It's a great story.
Okay, so, well, I was in the middle of English class, and there's this new kid. I never really saw him around, but he came from Venice, and his name was Nick. He's our singer. But I was just in the back of the class with my AirPods on. Just they were learning, and I was just in the back just blasting death
They were
metal.
learning while I was listening to death metal.
Oh, yeah,
Are you paying
Playing
attention,
air
Moon?
drums.
Are you paying attention?
Playing air drums.
Everybody else was learning in school. While I was in school, not learning.
I was in the corner just, listening to music with my air sticks and air drums and
AirPods.
And Miss Londa, I felt like she just kept looking at me, and I was just in the corner.
Probably.
Just like and in the air. And then
Do that again.
Okay.
And but so all of a sudden one day, Nick, the singer, he runs up to me. He's like, "Hey man," I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Hey, so I'm sort of like starting a band. Me and my friend. I got another guitar player. We're sort of looking for a drummer and a bass player. If you want to come by to a studio we have on Saturday, like that'd be awesome." I'm like, "Who is this kid?" I'm like, "He's new kid from Venice." I was like, "Who's this kid?" And he's sort of talking to my friends, like my other friends, and I'm like, "How does he know them?" So he comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, so this Saturday," and so I go there, and I tell my mom, "Hey, can you drive me to Westchester?" So
super random.
Yeah, super random. And she's like,
really far.
Yeah, and I said, "Can you drive me there? It's just some man's studio." And she's like,
An adult man.
yeah, well, yeah, and we were borrowing it, right? So we get there, and I see him, and I'm like, "Oh, cool." And then I meet the drummer. I meet the other guitar player. I'm like, this dude, Anthony, looks like he's like goddamn 18 years old. He didn't shave. He had like a big beard and a mustache.
He
I'm
looks
like,
25.
I was like, who is this kid? Why does he look like he's 18? And why am I at some random dude's house in Westchester? You're about to just play. We get in there, and I was like, this is going to be like bullshit. Like, this is going to be like a bunch of like kids messing around playing like stupid chords. And they just start playing Metallica and Iron Maiden.
It's awesome.
All these like metal bands and like rock and roll.
Didn't they ask you to play a specific song?
They're like, "Hey, you don't play any Metallica?" I'm like, "No, I don't even listen to Metallica. You know any Slayer?" I'm like, "I don't really listen to Slayer either."
That's
And
cool. They definitely opens your mind for sure.
Yeah, all I listened to was like death metal, and they're like, "Hey, we got Pantera, all this stuff." So I started listening. No, I listen to it all the time, but like, I was like, "Who are these kids?" And they're like, "Hey, you know any bass players?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know one. So there's this kid I used to go to. Used to play soccer with. His name's Nico. He's our bass player now. I was like, hey Nico, I know we haven't spoken in a while, but I know you like this kind of music. He's like the only other kid that likes.
How did you contact him?
He goes to our school.
No, I know, but like, how did you hit him up to say? Do you want?
I went up to him and was like, "Hey, nice to see you."
Sorry to interrupt.
But then, like, I say, because I know he likes this music, like metal, rock and roll, and I went up to him like, "Hey, man, so I'm sort of like joining this band now, and it's rock and roll. You probably might like it. We need a bass player." He's like, "Cool," and they come over and we all just jam together, and then we're like, "Yeah, this is it." It's a really good story. Like,
I love
how
it.
We all met.
Because it started spazzing out, like playing air drums, right?
Spazzing out in English class.
Well, Max, how important is it to you to not eat meat?
I will put a bet down to every single person that listens to this podcast. A bet. $100 per person.
Bet.
Yeah.
For whoever listens to this podcast.
$10 a person?
$100.
Oh, nice. I like
I
your
will
style.
never eat meat in my entire life. The rest of my life, no matter what. Ever.
Not even your first love can change that? A woman?
Hell no.
I actually thought around. Can I not say any names on this whole thing? Why don't you just go beep?
That's what, because Joe has no time for that.
Okay.
Yourself.
Well, there was a girl that started with a P, her name, and
have to say
I
any names,
wasn't sure at that time if she was going to be like, because you had a crush on her, and her name was Patricia Krenwinkel. And I thought you were going to say, oh, maybe I'll try a hot dog.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You think our son's weak?
Yeah, what do you think I'm
Think
weak?
women can make him weak?
But men and women usually fall to
Men
the
and
flip
women.
side because of the other person.
Yeah.
I will put a
Always.
bet down I'll never eat meat the rest of my life. Ever.
I like that.
Ever.
Mama, how do you think?
You chose to go on my team,
Yeah.
so you changed. Are you weak?
No, I went to vegan and more extreme than
I know,
vegetarianism.
but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Mama, and all in all, Mom, you think we're raising a good kid? Let's act like he's not here. You think we're raising a good kid?
I hope so.
You feel like
Why
he's...
isn't it just a yes or no, man? Like, what does that mean? I hope so.
Because if anyone knows me, they know I don't want to be pompous or cocky or think, yeah, he's a great kid, because you could go outside and be a dick tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
that's
never
just not how
know.
I am.
Max, are you happy how you're being raised? Are you happy how your parents treat
I
you?
actually really am, because I'm very different from all of my friends. And you know what? Everyone on this podcast and everyone's listening, my parents, everyone can be like, oh, he's just saying that because, like, you know, kids like to lie. And you can just
You
be
want
saying,
$50.
You can just say, like, he doesn't smoke or any of this shit. You know what? You can believe what you want. But I know deep down that I've been raised perfectly and very well, and I really wish I could. I hope I can raise my kids the way that my parents raised me, because I'm a very open-minded, loving human being.
Not gonna make Daddy cry in the podcast.
Of course, everything makes you cry.
That's
like,
so nice, Max.
oh my God. And like I just like an open-minded human being who's been taught, like, you know what? I'm not forcing you not to smoke and eat meat and drink and all this shit, but we're telling you it's not good for you, and we trust you enough. I think mainly out there for parents, trust is a big thing, and if you don't have trust, you can't change a kid no matter what. You don't know your kids that much, and like you can't trust your kids unless you really know them and have an open relationship with them. I don't think that unless your kids can tell you anything, there should be no trust in between you and your kids, because if they can't tell you shit and they tell you shit and it's like sus, you should be able to understand. Like, the way I've been raised is so open. It's like, you can do all this stuff. You can eat meat, you can smoke all this shit, but we know it's not good for you, and we're telling you we would rather you not, and we trust you. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have to do it. If they trust me, what's the point of me doing it?
It's pretty awesome, because some parents that don't know their kids, they don't trust them.
I told my band, I'm like, bros. I was like, why do rock and rollers and rock stars do drugs if this feels so good to play a show? Like, our first show, it was
amazing
so
to see that,
hype.
Max.
I was like, it was so
you guys
fun.
talked about it for like 3 days on Cloud 9.
It was amazing,
And
Max.
then it went to like Cloud 8.5.
For those
and
that
then it went
know,
down.
Max played his first show a couple of months ago at a record store
It
in
was
Venice.
not a couple months ago. It was like a month ago.
Okay, whatever. And it was a bunch of girls screaming up front. People knew the words, and all of his uncles came at this record store in Venice. And I can't even imagine H2O's first show being like that, because it was not like that. It was pretty amazing, Max.
Yeah, no, you had a great first show because you were opening for a bunch of bands.
Yeah, but the crowd didn't know the words to the one.
You're right.
There was no internet to have a song on.
And there was only 3 girls.
Yeah, you with your boyfriend. So Max, so Max, there wasn't internet then. So when my first show happened, we had no songs on the interweb. You guys had that already.
Interweb.
And people were singing the song.
No SoundCloud, bro?
No, they were singing.
No Mama Rappers?
They were singing "Gimme," which was awesome, right, Mama?
Water.
Mama.
Water.
Mama, was good though, right? The "Gimme" song, they performed that.
Gimme.
So
here's the thing. Gimme's a good song. I know for everyone out there who actually listened to it, it's just a good song overall. It's just great live.
Yeah,
great live.
I like you guys better live for sure, except for the new song we did. Shout out to Tim Armstrong. Thank you for that. It was amazing.
Coming out soon.
Anything else we talk about? I think we covered a lot of things, Mama.
Any more questions on there or no?
Questions are good on there. But do we have any questions for our son, though, Moon?
Any questions for me? Because I like being asked questions.
Max, do you want to go to college?
That's a hard question. I've been really focused on that question recently, like in the past couple of days. I was like,
past couple minutes. Go ahead.
Do I want to go to college? Well, like, I've always felt this pressure.
Not from us.
From Nana.
She's not your parents, though.
Yeah, she's not my parents, but she's put so much money
You
in
know that my grandma wanted me not to have tattoos. She wanted me to go to the Air Force.
Well, you're just a terrible grandson then. You're just a terrible grandson.
Go ahead.
But you know what? She was Catholic. And she also used to write you letters telling you basically how terrible you were. And what religion says you got tattoos so you're a piece of shit? That's not cool.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's just
because God had a tattoo, I heard. Go ahead.
Jesus had a Jesus piece on his back.
God is not a human.
Okay.
Okay, man.
We're gonna get real into that later. But
okay.
Go ahead. Go, Max.
Right now?
Yeah.
What was your question? Do I want to go to college?
Campus hijinkus.
Let's get her tested after this.
Mama, just so you know, Mama went to school in a town called Normal. She went to Normal, Indiana, I think, Mama. You went to college?
No, wait.
Normal, Illinois.
No, Indiana.
Illinois. Mama has normal.
Wait, listen.
The most non-normal person I've ever married in my entire life. Only person I married.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, me and my friend Sylvia have the same outlook on this, that college is bullshit and it's rigged for all the smarties out there. That
we get paid to get you in like the other people do. Right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We got caught now.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, like, school is not defined on your wisdom and how smart you are. It's I think in my head that I think it's excuse my profanity. It's fucked up that schools and jobs base on how good you did in high school, because you could be a total slack off and be such a smart kid.
I agree, and that's why I feel like a lot of your problems lie in.
Lying. See, here's the thing. I've tried and I've done very well, but I'm lazy. And you know why I'm lazy is because I don't care about what I do in school. It's because the only things I care about is music.
Because physically and mentally, you're not a lazy person. You're in shape, and
you know what?
You when you focus on things, you kill things like drums.
Here's the thing. I'm good in English because I like it.
You write papers that freak me out. And I think, like, who wrote that?
What do you mean?
The papers
like
you write,
when
yeah.
you write stuff, it's shocking
the ones
to
you
me
copy from your friends, those
because
ones.
you sit down, but when he does it, like,
totally.
I actually one time went to dinner with, I think my friend Julie was there. It was a bunch of girls, and you wrote something on Instagram. I don't know, it was like this big. And I was like,
oh, the one he cut and pasted from a friend. Go ahead.
Can you read this? I was shocked. It was really nice.
Yeah.
I think like another favorite.
That means I have zero faith in you. That's terrible.
The other like subject I really like is like science.
Science.
I've always
weird science.
Blinded me. Sorry,
I've
Max.
always been obsessed with like science and stuff like that since I was like a kid. Because I'm so adult now.
You love Big Bang Theory. That's a fact.
That actually, the Big Bang Theory, shout out to them if y'all are listening
Coming to
right now.
an end.
You're listening.
It actually already ended, and I cannot bear to watch the end episodes because I'm going to cry my eyes out. But
shout out to your grandma. I got you hooked on that.
That has made me
Nana.
really like science a lot more. I don't know why.
It's awesome.
I really do like science. It's a fun...
Science!
Weird science.
Are we done with this podcast?
No, Max. Milo from the Descendants.
Now it's switched.
No, Milo from the Descendants is a scientist and a punk singer. And I want to say one more thing. Shout out to Nana who flew out here on the weekend once just to take you to see Shrek from Chicago. That was awesome.
What does that have to do with science?
Nothing. But thinking about Nana right now. Go, Max.
I think we should keep this all raw. Don't edit any of it.
No, it's dope. I love it. Keep going.
Except my mom.
Then can
Go
I
ahead.
say you EB'd?
Can you
Sure.
not, dude?
They're not going to listen to the podcast
What's the next
anyway.
question? Do you have any more questions for Maximus?
Yeah, I have a question for Max. Do you like your name?
I think it's a hard-ass name.
Where's-
Maximus Henry Morse.
Please explain where his middle name come and how you threw that in there without telling me. Moon, Max was born with no middle name, and all of a sudden you you didn't even tell me. I didn't even get a choice to pick, and you named, you named after Henry Rollins.
No.
Called him Henry.
I know where my name come from.
We had talked about it to get the dirty hanky. But there's so peer pressure in the hospital. You can't leave until you pay. Like,
Of course you can't leave until you pay.
There
Yeah, you only $300. Go ahead.
no, it was a lot of
Damn.
money.
Go ahead, babe.
Then you got to give me a name. They're just like standing over you. I'm like, my crotch hurts. What the hell?
Yeah, my shit's hanging out.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Inside out.
I
Sorry,
was
Max.
driving by Social
What are we
Security.
doing?
I
Go ahead.
see the office. I pull over. The lady's picking her nose as she's walking to hand me the piece of paper. And I said, what the hell? She gives me the paper. I fill it out, put Henry down. And she said,
I
you
should-
need somebody.
Nobody ever asked me about the middle name, by the way. Go ahead.
You need somebody to like sign for this. And I looked at this lady they were giving grief to. I said, hey, want to be my friend? She looked at me. She didn't speak English. She signed for it.
That's crazy.
There's the answer.
And we were gonna, Max, your first name was going to be Nori Morse.
That's pretty
But
sick.
then if you became a murderer, it'd be fucked up. Well, Nori Morse killed somebody on the news.
Okay.
Or like seaweed
That's
in
my
Japan.
story.
Whatever.
Well, I was
ahead.
told, Adam told me, that I was named after his turtle he rescued.
I know.
I like how people take credit for naming my son.
No, no,
Maximus from Gladiator. Not
no,
true.
I actually believe.
You're named after Air
You
Max.
believed Adam?
Yeah.
Air Max is my favorite sneaker.
I actually want to go along with that story that he told me because he said,
Whatever.
he told me that he named me after a turtle he fished out of, like it fought off piranhas and then it died. It was like half retarded or something.
So he had a real story
You
behind
can't, use
it.
that, you can't use the R word anymore.
Hey, no PC people on there. Please get off.
Can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Maximilian was up for grabs, but I thought that was
That's a
too
terrible
long
name.
and that you couldn't write that in
Oh, that was
because you're retarded.
Max.
You couldn't
Don't
write
use the fucking R word. And second of all,
beep.
that's a long word. How about the one how about the
Maximilian.
Muhammad thing?
My mom wanted to name me
Muhammad Squeegee Abdul Jr.
Fuck man.
I
Who
do
did I
like a
fucking
Squeegee.
marry and who are my fucking
Squeegee
children?
Abdul
This is one
Muhammad
child.
Morse Jr.
That does not work.
Max.
Why is it junior? Who's the senior?
Max,
Your real
are
father.
you ever embarrassed of your parents, Max? Max, you ever embarrassed of your parents like this besides this moment?
Well, none of my friends think you guys are normal, like at all.
That's
And
not true.
what's normal? What's normal?
Well, you have tattoos from your neck down,
Yeah.
and you look like a monster. Like
Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
You look like a monster. You just hit me in the boob.
I'm sorry.
This podcast is
Fucker.
going fucking nowhere.
Wait, listen.
This is our last episode ever.
Listen. My math teacher yesterday, Miss Park, she's like, I gave her a flyer for, okay, everyone, come to the May 18th show.
This is gonna be but dropping Monday.
Yo,
yeah,
guys, we have a May 18th show coming out at the
free in
Hundreds
Los
Warehouse.
Angeles at the Hundreds.
Free. Ren the band is playing with H2O 25 anniversary.
6
free
p.m.
Show.
free
Free
show.
dollars. Free dollars.
Food trucks.
Okay, listen to this, everyone. I handed this flyer out to my algebra 2
Don't
teacher.
yell, fool. Go
I
ahead.
handed it out to my algebra 2
Thanks,
teacher.
Julie.
And there's a photo of my dad on the cover.
Oh yeah.
And my teacher,
Oh.
my teacher said, "Oh, who that big monster up in the front?"
No way.
She said, "Who that
She
big
called
monster?"
me a monster.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God, she said, "Who that big?" I said, "That's my father." And she's like,
I
"Oh
lo-
no, no."
So I'm your favorite monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not Doyle.
Yo, like 3 hours later, yeah, that's my favorite monster. But
She called Daddy a monster.
she's like, "Oh, who that big
I
monster up
love
in the
it.
front of the paper?"
Max, did you ever feel when you were growing up that all humans had tattoos until you saw other ones that
I don't
didn't?
remember.
Because you were surrounded by so many tattoos growing up.
I don't know, but
You used to love bringing me to school. Tell me your wife being to pick you up at school. You love that.
I like
Take
that
your
at
shirt
my
off,
school.
Daddy.
Yeah.
I like that.
Come to
That
show and
sounds really
tell.
bad. I liked it at my school now is because you have good style.
Thanks,
And when
man.
you don't look like you're 60. So when you
Where do you get your fashion sense from? Who?
My mom, obviously.
He wears my clothes.
We went to a store yesterday, and at the Foot Locker,
He wears my clothes.
You're his dad. She goes, your dad got swag. It's pretty sick.
What has this turned into? Is this just a big full-blown on conversation?
Yeah, it's awesome. That's what podcasts are. They just turn into other things.
Here's the thing. I think you got a good fashion sense, and you got a good body for being 60 years old.
I'm 49, Max. Jesus Christ.
You look good for your age.
Thanks, man.
But here's the thing, like...
That's for my straight edge vegan lifestyle.
When you wear a wife beater, like, it shows off your tattoos and, like, look like a G. And
Thanks,
I remember
man.
the first day we enrolled in 9th grade.
Oh, yeah.
You walked through with a Nas shirt and people were staring you down with it.
And I had the Supreme Jordans on.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
I remember that.
And then Max got my shoe size, so I started wearing all my shoes to school.
And I wrecked those shits because my feet smell like shit.
Yeah, here's a question. There's a question for
Can
listeners.
you grow out of that?
There's a question for listeners. Is there a time when your child becomes going through puberty and stuff, and they're in their teenage years, they have a chronic foot odor? It doesn't matter how much they wash their feet or put new socks on or brand new kicks.
Like
I
and
pay
it
someone
comes
$100 to smell my
my
socks.
son has chronic feet disorder. I don't know if it's a thing, but they smell like
I
pure
would
shit.
rather sleep on the streets.
Love
than
you,
smell
Max.
Your feet.
I feel bad for your first girlfriend that smells your
real.
feet. Facts. And then, Max, I'm going to give 2 shout-outs to the 2 hairs on your chin. So proud of you on that.
Shut up.
Those are 2
like
shout-outs.
Grandma got.
And I gotta blow up your spot because all your friends know anyway. No, that you have no armpit hair. You have like 2 or 3. And I didn't get
got
6
and I didn't get mine till I was 17. And I was
Max
so
didn't have
embarrassed
eyebrows till
to
8th
take off
grade,
my
and I
clothes
was
in the
so
gymnasium
worried.
for gym because I had no hair on my armpits. It'll come when you're 17. It's fine.
I have some now.
You just got eyebrows in 9th grade. You had no eyebrows
was 8th
forever.
grade.
It was pretty
I
sick.
was so worried, and you look so handsome.
But Max, it's great not having hair. You spend the rest of your life shaving it off. I have 1 chest hair, so be
You're
happy with a lot of
acting as
hair.
if I don't have armpit hair like I do.
Show them right now.
I
Show the
can't
listeners.
show 'em, it's a
Sho-
podcast.
Show the listeners your 2 hairs on your armpits.
It's 6 actually.
Okay.
I counted.
Can I tell you what he did?
Yes. This podcast off the
Nana
chain.
was visiting,
Yeah.
and Max said, "Nana,
Great story.
Nana."
Speak into the microphone,
Yes,
lady.
please.
And he cut Stella's hair is the same
Off our
color
dog.
as Max.
Call PETA. Animal
And
abuse.
He cut Stella's hair and glue gunned it to his armpits and to
Facts.
his pubes. And he said,
He had straight.
Nana.
Straight count this spot. You gotta shut. You gotta.
No, he had
it's a
straight
fact.
dog
it was
hair.
the best thing ever. My mom, she couldn't see that well, and she's
Yeah.
looking. She's like, "Oh my gosh, she's got hair."
Any funny, cute stories about Max besides that? We can embarrass
Isn't
him a
that
little
good
bit.
enough?
Yeah, but there must be another one, a cute one.
You know
Oh
me.
my God! When you shit on the floor in front of Grandma and Nana, you couldn't make the
Oh
bathroom.
my God, dude, this is a good story.
Go ahead.
Me and my Nana were taking a walk, and I was like, Nana, my stomach hurts. So we kept walking, and I'm like, Nana, I'm gonna shit my pants. No, it was a long time ago. I was like, Nana, I gotta go home.
You said poop because
Yeah.
you still say poop.
I was like,
Everyone says poop.
He doesn't say shit. You say poo poo. You still say that.
I
You
don't
don't
say
say
poop.
Yes, you
poo-poo.
say dad. Gotta go
He
poop poop.
never said poo poo in his life.
Okay, wait, no.
Oh,
So like literally, me and my grandma were taking a walk, and all of a sudden I was like, Nana, I gotta go poop. And so we run back. She opens the door. All of a sudden, I was like maybe like 5, and I run to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I'm setting up the bathroom to go to the bathroom.
How do you set up your own home bathroom?
I don't know. I was like taking another seat, and all of a sudden I get my toilet paper ready, and I just shit all over the floor. I take this one.
You look like you were gonna go pee facing the
I do
toilet.
this one massive dump, and she said it was as big as her forearm. She said it was so big.
As
and
big as the
she-
forum? Go ahead.
and she had to pick it up, and she's like, Max, you gotta clean this up, and I was like, I'm not doing that, Nana. And so right after,
Why, Daddy?
And you were 14.
no, I wasn't.
And it was
dude.
last week. Max, tell the story where you
15
scraped
and
your
a half.
penis off. Oh my God, I was on tour. I called Mama, how you doing? I miss
Oh
you,
my
baby.
God, this was
and
crazy.
Mama goes, I
You
can't talk.
scraped your
Max
penis
scraped
off?
his dick off and he hung up
Oh
on
my
me.
God, dude, I was on the bicycle, and I rammed against the I was like 4, maybe not 5. I was on my
14. Go ahead.
I was on a tricycle, and I rammed against the curb, and I scraped my penis on
Oh my God.
on like the metal bar of my tricycle. And I remember I was circumcised then, but I ripped my skin open on my
know.
dick. I ripped it open.
called a
and I
penis,
just
Max.
started.
Call it- say
You were
penis, okay.
circumcised then, but not now.
Man, can we
You
cut this
said-
part out?
You said
No,
I was
it's great. This is
circumcised
perfect.
then.
It's great
And
quality.
I literally ripped part
Classic
of my penis
podcast.
open.
It was purple.
And
And insane.
And right at that moment, and Max was screaming in the street. I had to call, "Hey, baby, I'm on tour. How you doing, baby?" Like Max is screaming in the background, like, "I can't talk. Max get really hurt." It was freaking me out.
Oh, I remember the time that dresser fell on top of my head.
It did?
Yeah. Oh, also I got kicked in the head by the donkey. Remember that?
You got kicked right in the middle of the stomach.
Oh, it was in the
by a mini horse.
And
Where?
I was like,
Griffith Park.
Where? Were you ever there?
I was on tour. I was never there. I was on tour.
Terrible dad. Where's Dr. Phil?
This is the segue for therapy because you are terrible.
You were there.
Yo,
It was
but
Griffith Park.
But we were in a bank robbery, and you were there
I remember
on
that.
the telephone.
No, I wasn't. I was
on the
fucking
telephone.
I had my little
Oh,
guitar
yeah, I was calling
with me.
you.
I had my guitar with me when I was little.
He had that plastic Fisher-Price guitar that was
That would
duct
did some
taped,
damage. Yeah.
and he wore it for like 6 months.
He brought on stages with us everywhere.
He did not take it off, and we were walking into the bank, and I look at the lady. Her name, she had a man name like Jimmy or something. She
Yeah.
was really nice, and she looked at me, and I looked over, and Max is standing like in between me and the door, banging his head, playing on the guitar.
I
Fisher
love
Price.
Madball. I love Madball.
And he
Rock
would
up, rock
repeat,
up.
rock up, rock up. And I look at the guy, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's happening? The bank was being robbed, and then the guy left.
True story.
Whew, that sucked.
That was the worst story I've ever heard.
I have a
you-
question. I forgot to
No,
ask
you
you. It was
wanna
on.
know
It was
something?
one of the questions.
I've seen a man get his neck chopped off when I was like 4.
That was on 666.
5.
So
Really?
you were
3.
3.
Tell that story, Moon.
Can we end it after this?
There's one more after that. After that, though.
So on 666, Gary was playing with Hank the Third.
Yep.
And Jim Rose Sideshow maybe was doing a
Yeah.
thing, and they were practicing with a
guillotine.
saw,
A
like
guillotine.
a
Guillotine.
circular one.
It's a
Yeah.
guillotine.
And they messed up, and the guy's neck was
Squirting
bleeding,
blood.
squirting blood. And we're walking up. I'm holding his hand. We're gonna go see Gary. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be so much
Yeah.
fun. And the guy's going, call 911, call
He's bleeding out of
911.
his neck and out
And
of his
his
mouth.
friend had his forearm pushed up against him to the wall, and he just kept yelling, call 911, call 911. And everybody there had clearly called. There was blood all
That's
over the
crazy.
place. We never saw Gary.
Wow, that sucks.
And I was nude. Max, what is it like touring with your dad and playing live drums with him? Especially we did 50,000 people last year in Columbia.
That was
You
not last year.
Whatever. You played on stage with us many times in
3
different
years
countries.
ago.
What's it like? That was one of the questions, actually. What's it like touring with us?
Yeah, I've already answered this question.
No, it isn't. Playing live with H2O, you played Nothing to Prove with us live.
Playing live, it's a new experience 'cause like before I never played a show, it was like I was really scared. I've always been scared. I'm still scared to play this May 18th show 'cause I've never played the song in a long time. But it's like you're playing with someone else's band and you don't want to mess up. It's like
Yeah.
even though I know the song, you get nervous. But it's cool to be able to play with you guys 'cause it's a different type of feel and like energy, you know.
Is it weird seeing me on stage in front of you singing and you playing drums behind me in front of a crowd? Because every day we're together, this father and son shit. But then
Yeah, it's
touring,
weird. It's
touring's
weird.
a different life. You know what I mean?
It's
Like,
weird seeing you out there and seeing how many people actually really care about you. I mean, no, I mean like.
Jesus Christ.
So awesome.
I mean, like, no, how many people actually like, how much you actually done with your life?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are
'Cause
you gonna
otherwise-
play on May 18th? Both bands?
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Because
Just a
otherwise,
question.
when I'm just home, just the loser. But unless you see me on tour,
Yeah, I
If
just
I
see you at
did-
home. You're like, you drop me off at school, you come home and you're at home all day doing nothing. I'm like, who is
Yeah.
this guy?
I'm not doing anything. I'm just making all my merch and doing
Yeah,
all my
all
shit.
your money. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks.
No, but everyone, come to the May 18th show. It's
This guy's a
at
real
the
asshole.
Hunter's Warehouse. It's all posted on everyone's Instagram. Ren the Band's Instagram, Toby Morse's Instagram, my Instagram, everywhere. Ren the Band's playing. Rend is playing. H2O is playing. Come see us. It's gonna be awesome.
May 18th.
Free food trucks,
See you there.
everything. See you there.
Skate with us. Skate the ramps.
Rend the Band.
Thanks you guys
Yeah,
for
say the
listening.
address.
The Hundreds home base, 4700 South Boyle Avenue, Vernon, California.
I can't imagine anybody having any more questions, but if you do, hit us up. Maybe we'll do a part 2 someday. But thank you, Max.
No.
I know, Max, you've been really, really
No.
busy. So, Max, I appreciate you taking time out of your day.
Yeah, I
To be
know.
on
It's
your
been really
father's
hard to get- It's
podcast.
been really hard to do this.
It's hard to track you down. You have a busy schedule. So, Mom, anything you want to add to this, Mom, at all, Moon, or no? Anything, babe?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Okay.
Well, thanks everybody.
Thank you guys.
I want to say thanks everybody. Keep me busy during the day with Max at school, doing all these orders and all my merch line. I appreciate people, all the support with the podcast and all the H2O support. And I can do this podcast and express myself and have people that I care about on there, and we can talk stories like this.
Awesome.
Anything else? Signing off. Thank you, Julie, for being here, making sure everything went well. Thank you, Moon, for having Max.
Thank you, everyone.
Because I know you did all the work.
Of course.
So anything else, Mama?
I did all the work.
Yes.
I think we're done.
Bye. Hey, guys. Thanks for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to this podcast, please do that. And whatever platform you are listening to this on, I'm glad you found me. You can rate me and review me on there also. So thank you guys sincerely for the support. I cannot wait for you guys to the next one.